I held off on watching it for a while because I didn't want to have any unsubstantiated claims or anything like that. It's a big video. Ethan's been putting this out for a while. And guys, promises made, promises kept. I said I was going to watch it. Here we are.
The world would not be the same. Few people.
It's the bomb guy.
Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu takes on his multi-armed form.
I thought only Shiva could do that.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
We think the Houthis are doing what we
fucking bloodthirsty, violent pig dogs. Why am I held accountable? God forbid you throw up the fucking green Hamas banner.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm cooked,
Happy birthday from Twitch, Hasan.
They really messed up making him that birthday video, man. Jesus, that was bad. Man. Why am I making this?
Oh, hi there. It's me, your old friend, Ethan Klein. It's been a while since we've last spoken. In that time, I've had 3 kids, all boys. I've lost 100 pounds, and I've pissed off 75% of the internet.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of you guys, too. Actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas. Someone should bomb. Oh, yeah, and I got a tattoo also, so I'm cool like that now. Left or right, I always thought that, despite our differences, there was one thing we could all agree on. And what was that? That we love America and everything she stands for.
That's right.
Mom and Dad and apple pie.
Sure, there's plenty to criticize and endless things to improve, but I thought it was about making a more perfect union, not tearing it down.
And marching bands, a pride that only
The thing is, there's something kind of scary brewing in America. Communism.
That's America. That's America to me.
That's a nice shirt.
I started a show a couple of years ago with my acquaintance, Hasan Piker. You might remember him from such classics as
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it. Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers in a video game. Sorry. Holy shit. That's not what I said. You dumb cracker bitch.
and of course, the Leftovers podcast, which was our show,
right.
which we made broadly.
Well, I remember this show happened, and people really liked it. It's crazy that that went so wrong.
Goof on the antics of the right. Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
There is Ethan Klein being a delightful human being.
I was just going to say, if there's another Holocaust, if they start rounding up the Jews again, I hope Ben gets...
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. And we went on making the show for about 2 years, and everything was good. Everyone was having fun. The audience was having fun. No problem. That was until this happened.
We were doing our regular show, and for the first time I noticed an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was. I don't hate the idea of like people who can be successful. I think it's good that people can achieve success.
That's going to make a lot of furries really upset. I don't know why he would say that.
The term monetary success. I mean, that's what that means, right? I do. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because I see so many people in the chat saying no.
I don't know what y'all are tripping about. Like, what the fuck do you
What is the idea that you guys are looking for?
You guys are all like radical communists? There's that many radical communists? Suck it.
I think that people just get mad about that. People just get mad because they see somebody making a bunch of money with some bullshit that they don't think they should be able to make that money with. It's really not that deep.
Chat. You're watching a. You're watching.
I think most people's politics is just like whatever is in their best interest.
Capitalist pig. Deal with it.
And then this happened.
This comment from Hasan really started to sound some alarms in my head.
Yeah.
If you're in a socialist country with multiple parties, and one of the parties is a capitalist party, which would surely exist.
Yeah.
What would you do if that party started gaining momentum?
The solution to that would always be education and offering more
Re-education?
re-education, certainly. Yeah. There should be an enforcement mechanism, and in that enforcement mechanism, I think like rehabilitation, which would include re-education as well.
If putting capitalists in re-education camps isn't disturbing enough, I started to notice that Hasan...
It's just, you can't go and say that. I mean, you can't re-educate people. Like, that is insane, bro. Like, what? How do you say that? How do you say... That's what China does? Yes. That's what so many of these places say. Yeah, we China now. Exactly. It's crazy.
...was carrying a lot of water for communist states' war crimes and genocides.
What do you call Crimea? I call it a part of Russian territory, bitch. That's what I call Crimea. I call it Crimea River, a Russian river. The annexation of Crimea is absolutely a justifiable annexation. Tibet was literally a fucking feudal slave mandate, like
So
autonomous zone.
China did them a favor.
That was one. I mean, in America, when I say something like this, people get very upset. You know, we talk about the Dalai Lama saying "suck my tongue" or whatever, but like that's not far from the norm in fucking normal Tibetan existence before the Communist Party came in and
So
took
China
over.
unilaterally took over Tibet,
Like
squelched
these are
their culture. They basically are trying to, you know, homogenize the culture.
if your culture,
They're trying to spoil the religion and the identity.
the part of
and they did them
feudal
a favor.
warlords and slavery, abolishing that. Yes, I do think that that is good.
No, China did them.
That sounds familiar. That does. Wow. Sounds very familiar.
Them a favor.
This is a good way to describe Taiwan as well. The American federal government going into the fucking South and killing, unfortunately not all of them, but a decent amount of slavers and defenders of slavery. This is violent retribution from a powerful federal government
Tibet was a separatist.
that squashed, okay?
Tibet is the South in the Civil War?
Yes.
And most disturbingly...
I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that part. Yeah.
A complete whitewashing of the Chinese genocide against their Muslim minority group, the Uyghurs.
Don't they have Uyghur death camps? Is that...
It's not a death camp. They were
It's not a death camp. Yeah, they die in the camp, but it's not a death. It's not for the purpose of killing them. It's just that this happens.
re-education camps.
Yeah.
And they are no longer in operation.
Is that
according
true?
to the Associated Press?
Okay. I saw this crazy documentary, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the surrounding narrative
It's
or
like a
anything about
byproduct.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was about there was doctors in the area. They would be able to procure organs.
No,
or-
that's no.
I'm telling you, they were in China with.
Dog, that one is like Shen Yun.
They're like, we
Falun
can
Gong.
get you an organ. From a Uyghur.
We did that with black people back in the day. Mainly with their teeth.
But
Yeah.
is that really that crazy?
The Associated Press quietly fucking wrote an article that didn't
By
get
the
a lot.
way, historically, looking back on it, that's considered like kind of an L. Yeah, most people don't look positively on that anymore.
Coverage in mainstream media about how like, okay, well, you know, all the concentration camps have been closed now. Like all the re-education camps are closed now in fucking Xinjiang, and it's like very different. very different vibes in Xinjiang, and now it's the tourism hour.
Let's see what the Associated Press actually had to say about this. These are all.
I think that to an extent, it is true that China is becoming more democratic, it seems, and probably less authoritarian over time, especially as it becomes more globalist. But to act like it's not like that at all is crazy.
Articles from the last 2 years.
They're becoming
UK
more?
independent body reports China committed genocide in Xinjiang. China sanctioned a U.S.
China sanctions a U.S. research firm and 2 individuals over reports on human rights abuses. Oh, okay.
research firm and 2 individuals over a report about the human rights violations in Xinjiang.
Uh-oh.
It's the tourism hour.
To China's fury, UN accuses Beijing of Uyghur rights abuses.
Tourism hour.
Uyghur County in China has the highest prison rate in the world.
Wow.
1 in 25 people is in a Chinese prison.
It's the tourism
Fuck.
hour.
48 Uyghurs detained in Thailand.
Well, they're going to tourism. The tourist result is the jail. Yeah, there you go. This may be my last message. Uyghurs stage hunger strike over China deportation. Oh my God.
Almost 11 years are on hunger strike to protest their imminent deportation to China, where they face imprisonment or execution.
Not only does this AP article seem not to exist, reading the AP proved exactly the opposite. Hasan has happily eaten up the Chinese propaganda on this and has regurgitated it to his mainstream audience. Why is he defending China's genocide of their Muslim population? How does this even make sense? It only makes sense.
It doesn't seem like it's a good idea to me.
If A, he's being paid, or B, he has the political complexities of a 5-year-old. I know America Bad is a meme that people laugh at online, but with Hasan, this does actually seem to be the beginning and the end of his analysis.
2 principles. Let me explain to you. 2 principles that you should keep with you, coming from a person who's Turkish, okay? When you look at a situation in the Middle East, you look at what the local government is and who the Western forces are. Never align with the Western forces. So when I look at other countries, I look at the regional actor, whoever the regional power player is, and then I look at who is backed by the Western superpowers. That's a principle.
I would say the people that are wrong are the people that target and kill civilians. Yeah, and in some cases, that's both groups. It's really not that complicated.
That you could take home with you if you want to actually be moral or if you want to be smart about the way you analyze other countries. That's one basic principle that you can take home with you. All of a sudden, magically, you are above on your foreign policy analysis. You're going to be better off than 90% of people that look at the situation.
After seeing all of this, I was already getting uncomfortable with
there's a degree of that I kind of agree with, that like the U.S. shouldn't be involved in fucking around in the Middle East. But like to act like the people that are there are always doing the right thing is kind of a little bit simple, right? It's obviously an oversimplification.
Partnership. I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
And then this happened.
Oh, here we go.
We have breaking news out of Israel this morning where Hamas has launched a surprise attack within Israel's borders overnight.
After the shock of October 7th, I noticed a huge increase of anti-Semitic comments from Hasan's stream and Discord, including from his head mod. I was disturbed that Hasan was seemingly okay with this.
Can you, do you care that your chat is calling me racist? Do you make any attempt to modify?
I have not looked at my chat.
Moderate that at all?
I have not looked at my chat at all, but you have
I just opened it, but don't you have moderators? Do you care at all about what your audience says about me?
There's 32,000 people in here right now.
I'm just trying to tell you guys how it feels. And I'm fucking shocked that you don't care that people in your chat are saying, who the fuck is this child, cold, arrogant,
Ethan,
fuck?
I love you, but there's only so much I can do.
How can you be surprised when your Discord is literally full of fucking...
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do if you're making that argument. You know that, right?
Hasan's chat had been calling me a Zionist, baby-killing genocider. Maybe it is unreasonable that I'm asking him to moderate his chat for a friend. He doesn't even...
It's impossible to get rid of all the messages. It definitely is. But you've got to have some level of crowd control, right?
Know where I'm coming from because it's not something
he made no
he would
attempt.
ever...
Yeah, and it's this is kind of the thing. And I am going to try to come at this from a reasonable perspective, right? And I know that might upset some people because people like this is obviously a very negative Hasan video. But I think that there is some validity in saying that, yes, I can't moderate my entire chat of people spamming this message, but there's a gray area in between, right?
Ask for.
And all these other content creators actually, whipping their communities when their chat is going fucking
I remember watching this drama offline. Oh my God.
Absolutely bananas over random dumb shit and bringing my name up for no fucking reason. That you were just allowing that shit to run rampant in your chat. And I thought that was fucked up.
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do.
Especially as someone who thought...
The problem is, like, both of these things are true. There are streamers that let hate run rampant in their chat, but it's also true that a streamer isn't responsible for every message in their chat. Both things are true.
We were fucking friends. I think that's a reasonable expectation for someone.
And I think also people frame the conversation in a direction that's beneficial towards them at the time.
Consider to be a friend.
The problem wasn't that he was pro-Palestinian, because I share a lot of those views, and I've been a stalwart supporter of the Palestinian cause for many years. The problem with Hasan's coverage, and a lot of people like him, was their complete lack of empathy for the Jewish people who were frankly slaughtered by Hamas. He refused to show even a crumb of empathy for the Jewish victims.
But listen to what this guy has to say.
And as you might have seen, there was some sort of rave or desert party where they were having a great time until the resistance came in electrified hang gliders and took at least several dozen hipsters. But I'm sure they're doing very fine despite what the New York Post says. But nobody had seen this.
I think these people actually do a huge disservice to their cause, because like it's very obvious that it's a bad idea to go and like kill random civilians at like some festival. And I think that you have a lot of people that are like very hateful and like extremely toxic and hostile. Like this is just the way, I mean, after 9/11, like everybody was like, turn the, the Middle East into glass, right? Like, and so we've had the same thing here. I think that in the long run, people like this will end up damaging any cause or any sort of sympathy that people would have for the native indigenous peoples there because of how extreme that they're saying. And I think that it already has. And that's the problem, is that you take a cause that in some cases is sympathetic, and then you defend things inside of that cause that shouldn't be defensible. And then you alienate people against the cause entirely. Do you see kind of like what's happening there? And I think this is what happens in a lot of cases where when different movements and organizations aren't able to control their extremism and like their extremist parts, they end up becoming taken over and defined by that extremism. And I think that in that definition, they end up getting repudiated and ignored because they were unable to control that extremism.
I mean, that's insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even... Yeah, okay. Like...
Okay.
I'm
just criticizing people. You don't have to comment if you're not comfortable about it.
I honestly felt it time.
It's obviously bad, and it's easy to say that killing civilians is bad, it's evil, and the people that did it are bad and evil people and they're terrorists. That's it. I think that there's also a huge difference when you're talking about targeting civilians versus civilians being killed as collateral. So when you're targeting civilians, there's really no excuse for that. Killing civilians as collateral is tragic, but that's what happens in wars. Like, this is just simply, it's just common sense.
That he and his audience barely thought of Israelis as humans.
This dude just called babies militants.
No, I understand. And there are baby settlers as well. But there are baby settlers as well. There are babies in the settlements.
Part of running defense for Hamas is downplaying the violence specifically.
Yeah, the thing is that the problem is like saying that there's babies in the settlement is, it's not bad on its own, but it's bad when you create a framework that settlers are bad And settlers, because they're bad, it's okay to do bad things against them, which then justifies doing bad things against those people. You see, kind of like it's not necessarily the individual action, it's the kind of cause and effect that action leads to. Both sides are targeting civilians. I don't think that I'm not a big Israel fan either. Like, I'm not going to, like, if you tell me that Israel did something really bad, I'm not going to say, oh, well, but it wasn't that bad. No, I would say the exact same thing. It's not, well, like, Israel isn't, like, what I'm saying is if they do or if they don't, in a theoretical circumstance, if they did, I would massively condemn that. That would be evil. It would be horrible. It's so easy it's so easy to be reasonable about this, isn't it? How is it hard to be reasonable about this?
The sexual violence, which he's done a lot of.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people that can't contend with. Like, the Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not like...
I don't think it's really like... It's you're not resisting somebody like when you're raping them. Like, this isn't resistance, is it? Like, what is this?
So good. They have magical bullets. The Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not like so good. They have magical bullets.
What are some of these? First, male survivor recounts rapes at the hands of Hamas terrorists. They pin you to the ground if you try to resist. They take off your clothes, laugh at you, and spit on you. Sounds pretty bad.
Perfect.
Holy shit. I mean, I could easily see this happening, right? I mean, like, this is what's been happening for thousands of years, right? I mean, like, you could easily expect this to happen. It's been happening forever.
Of course, if you compare the raw numbers, Gazans have lost a lot more than Israelis. 40,000 people have died, and neighborhoods have been completely flattened during this war. And while we should keep their plight at the top of our minds at all time, it also doesn't mean that we should disregard the lives of the Jewish people who are also affected by this, even if...
See, I think this is the reasonable perspective to have, and I think that most people probably see it this way. And I think that the language and the rhetoric of, like, the baby settlers, the, not caring about the rapes or thinking that it's a revolution when you're killing civilians, I think that what that does is that radicalizes people, and it actually makes them less sympathetic to the civilians that are in Gaza that have been killed. I think it makes people way less sympathetic to it. And I feel like it's been massively counterproductive. And, like, after seeing this happen over the year, I've seen how people's perspectives has changed and shifted. And I think that I think it's observable that that's happened. They're hurting their cause. They are. They're hurting their cause.
Their suffering on the whole is not as great. Some of you may know that I'm an Israeli dual citizen. My wife is Israeli. My kids are half Israeli. And my entire in-law is Israeli. I lived there for 5 years. And I grew a closeness with the country and its people. One of the biggest issues between me, Hasan, and his community was that I am in favor of a two-state solution while they are in favor of a one-state solution. Their theory is that after the October 7th attack, Israel should just dissolve its borders and let Hamas enter Israel unrestrained.
What do you think Israel should have done in response to October 7th?
Instead of indiscriminately bombing Gaza, I think the first thing to do...
I wonder what would have happened. Like, I mean, let's ask the obvious question, right? What would have happened if Hamas had done that to people in China? Uh-oh.
In that situation would be to dismantle the government in the way that it existed, like get Netanyahu out of power.
Okay. So you're saying Israel in response... Hold on, dude. You're saying in response to this terrorist attack, Israel should have dismantled their own government.
First set of actions would be to democratically take Netanyahu out of power. Yes.
The problem is that Israel's been at war with its neighbors for 70 plus years, and it makes a lot of sense that there'd be some distrust there. Is it really insane to think that Jews, as an ethnic minority in Israel, would not be safe? After all, Israel is a country of refugees. If the Jews didn't come from Europe after the Holocaust, they came from the surrounding Arab countries that expelled them in massive amounts following the 1948 war. In fact, there was more Jews displaced than Palestinians during the Nakba. 1 million Jews. All of these.
A lot of this, by the way, I don't really have like a lot of I don't know all the history of this, so it's hard really for me to say this is true, that's not true. So I'm just gonna, I can let it play out. People want to talk about it in the comments, they can talk about it in the comments or chat, but that's it.
Surrounding Arab countries had vibrant Jewish communities in huge number, hundreds of thousands. Now,
I've seen the demographic change percentages and stuff like that, but I don't know like kind of the fine print there is what I'm really trying to get at.
Look at them. You're looking at close to, if not literally, 0 Jews left in these countries.
Just to give you an idea, here's a visual representation of the Jewish refugees after 1948. Morocco had 265,000 Jews.
That's a
now
lot.
It has 2,000.
Wow.
Algeria had 140,000. Now it has about 50.
Damn.
Iraq had 150,000 Jews. Now 10. And I want to give a special shout out to my boy over in Afghanistan. One known Jew.
I mean, aren't you kind of like giving away his position, man? Like, damn, they haven't found him yet? Yeah, like, what the fuck?
We know him.
Snitching
we
him
love
out.
him. He's the one Afghan Jew.
They were forced to leave their homes, their lives, their property, and migrate to the only place in the world that would accept them, which was Israel. The irony of this whole situation is that after the 1948 war, when Israel won the war to declare its independence, the Arab countries got super anti-Semitic against their own Jewish citizenry that had nothing to do with Israel. And as a result, they kicked them all out, 1 million plus of them, and forced them to go the one place they hated the most, Israel. And now those same people that forced them out of their homes are telling them they don't belong there. So if the Jews of Israel are surrounded by Islamic militant terrorist groups that have stated their goal is to annihilate Israel as a Jewish.
They really do that? That they pulling an Elon? That's crazy. Wow.
State. And considering the historical context of Jews being pogromed from Arab countries, is it really that crazy for them to not feel safe as an ethnic minority, even a little bit?
And that's pretty much the entirety of our disagreement. Despite what you've read on TikTok and Twitter, I've donated $6,500 to a Palestinian charity after the war started.
Hey, Ethan Klein, thank you for the dono. Ethan Klein gave $6,500. My goat. Thank you, Ethan.
Condemned Netanyahu as a war criminal.
They're led by Netanyahu, who should resign in disgrace and go to prison for being a war criminal.
I think this is what the problem is that a lot of people, I think, are sympathetic to Palestinians, and I don't even think that a lot of people like Netanyahu either. But the problem is that it seems like the side of people like that are very extremist are not even willing to give any ground. And I think that what that does is it radicalizes people in the opposite position, and it ends up hurting the people that are living there more than if people could just find the common ground that maybe there are bad actors in both of these different governments, and working towards the best solution for the actual civilians and citizens there is what should be the goal, not trying to justify or, make excuses for which different type of like militant government killing civilians is right. I feel like it almost, to me, and this is conspiracy, right? It almost feels to me like there's an intentional misinformation campaign where the goal is to destabilize people's perspectives in order to prevent people from seeing that there is very obviously a huge problem here. And I feel like most reasonable people can see that. That's not a conspiracy. Yeah, that's just how I feel about it, right?
called the West Bank settlements an abomination.
Settlers in the West Bank are religious zealots. They're monsters. They're genocidal.
I've even said the West Bank settlers are valid military targets.
When you talk about like colonial settlers and stuff, like that's what's actually happening in the West Bank right now. And these people are more or less valid military targets, in my opinion.
My only crime is wanting a two-state solution instead of one, and thinking it's not okay to kill Israeli civilians. That's it. That's why they're calling me a Nazi.
Was that Frogan? Okay, that's what I thought.
That's it.
Of course.
That's why they're calling me a Nazi Zionist. And because of Hasan and others spreading this malicious lie about my beliefs, I'm even getting harassed on the streets.
I feel like a Nazi Zionist. I feel like that's like the people that were calling Obama a atheist Muslim. It really, I mean, like it's just the same. It's the same group of people. It's so fucking retarded. It's amazing. It's an oxymoron. Yes.
So how come you don't like Palestine?
I like Palestine.
No, you don't.
Why do you say that?
Because, bro, you're. Wasn't she in the IDF?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Man,
well, oh, he's.
Military service.
Yeah.
That's sad.
There.
That's terrorism, bro.
She was born there.
That's sad. I feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist,
Bro,
bro.
look in the fucking.
You look like a fucking rapist, Ethan.
Who does this over the internet? By the way, my understanding is that there's like mandatory military service. It's like 3 years for men and 2 for women if you're an Israeli citizen. So like being in the IDF isn't like some sort of criticism. It's like if you live in Israel, you are compelled to do that. Like you have to do that. It's not like she signed up. She's like, I hate Palestinians. I want to go and kill them. You had to do this.
Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist, bro. I'm tired of all these coward Americans
this guy?
in the South trying to act like they're so tough. Oh, I'm American. Oh, you don't even run your own country. You don't run your own country, bro.
Oh, let me guess who runs the country. Let me guess.
You don't run your own country. A foreign country named Israel runs.
I would have never guessed.
Your country.
Now, I'm not going to say the name, the group that the doctor was a part of.
Oh my God, bro! I love you, Hasan. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
I'm so sweaty.
I love you, bro. I have
This
to
guy's a
love you.
Hasan
You're like
fan.
You're my hero, bro. I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look.
Which
gay
is
now.
like, and the problem is that, and this is kind of what the issue is that I think that there are a lot of reasonable Americans that do have a lot of criticism for how much the U.S. pushes Israel and how much we support Israel. And the issue is that I think extremists like this guy here alienate people who have a reasonable perspective on that and just a moderate perspective on that. And they turn it into like some kind of like weird fucking anti-Semitic, bullshit, basically.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hold on, I think I look gay now. Hold on.
And the funny thing about
do you see my point though, right? About how these people's extremism ends up being counterproductive to their goals. Because like that's what my point is with like all of these things.
I don't like terrorism, and I don't like terrorists. If they're Jews, Christians,
terrorism
Muslims,
is. Can we
they're
get an
all
L
bad.
in the chat for
What is
terrorism?
It's intentionally targeting civilian population for political goals.
Yeah, that's bad.
I
Wow.
don't like it. None of it. And over
Terrorism's
time, I
real
started
bad.
to learn that my co-host, he really likes terrorists.
Uh-oh.
They do musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
This isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing this gun.
Poor Nick. Poor Nick. Caught in the middle. He has no idea.
This is a music video, Hasan.
Taking over these ships, they started targeting the ships.
People on this helicopter right now?
Yes.
They're streaming this?
Yeah. Yeah. They're flexing.
What? And they're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrent.
Well, it's not really fair, though, right? Because like a lot of the reasons why they take over these ships is because the ships dock in ports that don't allow people to be armed. So, like, I don't really think this is really, like, flexing on them. Because it's like, you're basically like, I mean, it's like you're pay to win flexing on free to play. Like, these people don't even have guns. It's not even a fair fight. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they're kidnapping the ship. Yes. It's like, this isn't the Pirates of the Caribbean.
We think the Houthis, Ansar
It's a
Allah,
bot lobby, yes.
is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say. But they are a terrorist organization. Like, they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well,
he is regarded as a pretty brilliant a person.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you don't need to, like, and the thing is that this guy, I will give Hasan credit, both Hasans here. I've heard this guy speak. I think he's pretty smart too. I might disagree with him. I might think he's wrong, but he's a well-educated, smart guy. It's the same thing I said about the Nazis. He was? Oh, yeah, they killed this guy. It was like, what, 6 months ago or so? He sounds smart? Yeah. Well, because I remember, so the first time that I heard about this guy is whenever I played the game Twitcher Terrorist. And I kept seeing all of these comments that were like really well spoken, and it was from this fucking guy. And so I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Who is this guy? So I looked at some of this stuff he said. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Well, he's well spoken. Yes. That was the worst part, is that in the Twitcher Terrorist thing, if the comment was very well spoken and it was like informed by like historical context, I'm like, oh yeah, it's this guy that probably said it. I don't know what to say.
In terms of like everything that he's done.
Then I saw clips like this where Hasan is explaining how he's hiding his power level to funnel in normies into radicalization.
I think that in the short term, in order to combat against that, you have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda.
Are those magic
you want
cards?
America, in the way that I feel about it, and if you want America to get out of the way,
it's a swamp,
or places with more revolutionary potential to do what they would normally do, I think that, one thing you have to do is.
But anyway, just to make sure that, like, I was not supporting the guy, and I think that it is kind of problematic. It's like, if you're referring to Hitler as an Austrian painter, everybody knows what you're trying to do. Everybody knows it. Everybody gets it. What are we doing? He was, though, right? He was. But technically,
is advocate for a lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond, social democratic ideas.
I just wanted to put emphasis on the exact point of the so-called radicalization funnel, where, for example, Hasan and JT catch them while they're young, as they say, and then they start looking into this new idea.
This does sound very bad, because basically what he's saying is that he is acting as like a funnel for people to become even more radicalized.
Et cetera, and
it sounds very bad.
Forwards through the funnel, get more and more informed, get more and more radicalized. You do your part in the funnel for the cause, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're doing, in my modest opinion, a great thing for the cause.
Now listen to Hasan during our very first conversation lie to me about how he's a social democrat to hide his power level.
We should move towards a Sweden-style economy or a Norway-style economy, which would be a social democracy. You have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda with robust social safety nets.
Cold radicalization
Which
funnel.
the thing is that I agree with that. That's the thing. Is a lot of people that were critical of me, people have been critical of me because I've defended Hasan in a lot of cases. It's because I hear that and I say, yeah, I agree. True.
Catch them while they're young, as they say.
And protections for workers like higher unionization.
But that's where it stops. I don't agree with the funnel. I just think that that's good.
Rates, a lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond social democratic ideas.
Hell, he's proclaimed it loudly that he is a self-described propagandist.
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
I'm not calling
I'm
you
a
that. I'm just saying. I'm going to play you.
I'm saying I am.
Okay. Well, then I want to.
I'm saying I am.
I just
before
want to
you
put
even play it.
A propagandist is much more than someone with a bias. It's someone who knowingly lies to further their political agenda.
And then I had a terrifying vision. Had I been duped? Was Hasan presenting a Trojan horse to my community, where he was just a left-leaning Democrat like myself, and as he said in the previous video, was funneling them into radicalization and turning them against me?
Liberals are some of the easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet, dude.
I learned how much he hates liberals.
Dude, I hate liberals, dude. I hate them. I hate them so viciously.
Did he secretly despise me this whole time?
I'm sorry, dude. I hate liberals so much.
Did this man sit next to me for 2 years and pretend to be my friend?
Dude, liberals are a burden on this planet, dude.
Liberals are the most, like, scummy, vile, fucking
Why are liberals bad? I'm confused. Why are they bad? Yeah, I don't even understand that.
It's liberals are incredibly stupid. I hate these petulant liberals.
Well, let's be fair.
I'm fucking liberals.
What else is someone this sociopathic capable of?
Liberals are some of the easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet, dude.
Was I being manipulated this whole time?
That was my fear anyway. Regardless of his true beliefs, that broke my trust in him, and I pretty much ended the show immediately. And I felt guilty for my participation in mainstreaming.
I think probably what happened is that basically a lot of Hasan's audience were the people that were like super hardcore, like basically pro-terrorism and like pro-October 7th. And they viewed Ethan, and because his wife was from Israel, they viewed them as like ideological enemies, and that alienated Ethan. That's effectively what happened. That's like, I mean, if I'm looking at this from an outside perspective, that's what I think, that's what seems like is what happened. They went super hard on her? Yeah, basically.
Hasan. And for that, I apologize. I should have done more research, and I should have looked more deeply into who I was getting in bed with before they gave me chlamydia. Sorry, Hila. Over the past year since the show ended, I continue to watch Hasan platform, promote, and propagandize terrorist organizations. And every time it happened on Twitch, I would say, man, this time surely he went too far.
And to keep in mind that promoting the terrorist stuff is explicitly stated against TOS. And it's even against TOS in the context of education. It is. It's explicitly stated. You don't understand because the video is taking every piece of a video to fabricate a message he wants to say. I could do the same with you and another person. Some of the quotes he used in a video were ironic, some were real. I think that there is a degree, and I think that you bring up a good point, that Ethan clearly is a biased actor, and you should look at every clip that he provides of Hasan saying these things and look at it with a grain of salt. I think that that's a completely valid perspective to have, and that's totally fair to say. And that's why I'm not going off the handles on any one specific thing or whatever. I think there's a confluence of things that are coming together collectively.
Someone's got to do something. But as the time went on, nothing happened, and his views got more
and more radical and more disturbing. I feel it's my
I think this was a big mistake. Twitch probably, and I think this is an issue that Twitch is having, is that I think that there's going to be an extreme radical political event that happens in the next 6 months to 12 months. And when that extreme radical political moment happens, you're going to have a lot of extremist rhetoric on the platform that Twitch won't know how to deal with because they've allowed it to get to this bad of an extreme. And that rhetoric will become made mainstream by people talking about how problematic it is. And it's going to cause a mass advertiser exodus, and it will effectively end up nuking Twitch. That's what I think is going to happen.
After mainstreaming someone like Hasan.
And by the way, when it does happen, everybody in leadership on Twitch is going to get removed. They should have nipped this in the bud over a year ago. But they let things radicalize and get so bad that now it's almost impossible to get rid of it. And also, I think one of the big problems is that some of the sympathizers are people that work at Twitch themselves.
To take this on. And so it was war. Nuclear war.
I stand before you following the footsteps of intellectual giants.
One thing we've been hearing for weeks.
But a simple man.
No,
a simple
I
man.
got to admit, I think Hasan's done a really good job mainstreaming himself and like getting involved in like different interviews and stuff. I respect it a lot. Because like, you know, for me, I'm very much more like, you know, closed off and I don't like to do that kind of stuff. I can respect that. I think he's done a great job at it.
Who understands
Joe
right from wrong.
Yeah.
I
you're an
think that
influential voice to a lot of people.
I'm an idiot, I'm a dumb bimbo. I don't know what I'm talking about.
And there are some things
I've gotten numb to it or something like that. It's not. As a matter of fact, I seek it out now because I make content out of it. I think it's funny and fun.
And there are baby settlers as well.
Can you just shut the fuck up, bloodthirsty, violent
It doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen.
Okay. I didn't know that. All right. That I guess that's the intro. Okay. Give me a minute. I need to use the bathroom. All right. That's the intro. Holy shit. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go.
Thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video.
Ooh.
ExpressVPN is an app that lets you change your location. Let's see what you can do with this power. Well, you can sign up for Netflix from a different country, but why would you want to do that? It was $14. It's now $3.66.
Wow.
Okay, but it even gets better than that. Netflix and all the streaming apps have different catalogs for each region. So let's say, for example, I want to watch some Dragon Ball Z Broly, but it's not available in the USA. Psych! All you need to do is switch locations to Canada, refresh, and boom! That easy and fast, Dragon Ball Z time. I use these websites to help find whatever shows I'm looking for. You can type in the show you want, and it will show you which region to connect to. The amount of content I have access to is insane. It's super easy to use. It's an app you connect to, and then you pick which country you want to connect to. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Go to expressvpn.com/h3hc for 4 free months, or scan the QR code, or go to the link in the description. Thank you so much to ExpressVPN. And now, back to our program. Meanwhile, at Twitch HQ, the marketing team is
Here we go. All right. Now, I'm going to be honest. What's going on, Israel and Palestine? I have a general idea, but I've got pretty generic opinions about that. Now we're getting into the part that I'm interested in. Here we go.
Strategizing on a new advertising vertical.
My friends at Twitch headquarters, the executives, the influencers, Hasan, nice to see you, Frogan, front row. I am here to present to you an extraordinarily exciting opportunity. We have not tapped this market yet. Now, don't panic, okay? Because you're gonna wanna panic when I tell you, but listen and learn. Who's billions of dollars, eager to spend it, And what, people are too cowardly to reach out and take the money?
Who is it?
Not us. Terrorism. Terrorism. Twitch is perfect. You could broadcast it straight into the veins of 18 to 35-year-old men. So here's what I'm suggesting.
Okay.
Hasan Piker.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get drinks after the show. No, you. He's such a great guy.
Sounds pretty good.
You. Give it up for Hasan Piker, everybody. Happy birthday,
There's
buddy.
a lot of terrorists.
This dude can package anti-Semitism and anti-Americanism like nobody else. In fact, you guys got him on the front page. And he's doing terrorism for free. Basically.
Even as somebody who is a very big fan of America, I think America's the best country in the world. I do think that you should be able to package anti-Americanism however you want. I think that is freedom of speech. In the same way that it's okay to burn a flag. Maybe not anti-Semitism because it's hate against a group of people, but hate against the nation I think is totally fair. And I think criticism against the country is totally fair. I think one of the most American things to do is to be able to criticize America. That's my perspective.
Gentlemen and gentle ladies, Frogan. You
That's
look
why we
good
have
today,
the First
girl.
Amendment, boys.
Girl, you look good. Great job on that Arab tier list.
Fell down. I didn't even see this. They really fucked up with it. How did you think this was okay to do? Like, how did you think that you could go to TwitchCon and do a race tier list? What a big mistake.
That was good. How much we get for that? Yo, you got 10 million from Qatar for that? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Twitch. Here's the thing, with help from people like Hasan, terrorism is like in the eyes of the beholder, right?
Yeah.
They're not terrorists, they're, go ahead.
Freedom fighters.
Go ahead, he knows. Freedom fighters, guys. Of course. We are fighting for freedom. What about the rapes and the murders? Don't mention that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? And another one. The resistance isn't
not
perfect. Right? You gotta crack some eggs, man. Hasan, you know Socialism didn't buy you that car.
And I think also everybody acknowledges that for thousands of years, there have been rapes and brutalizations of civilians in the acts of war. But I think the problem in this circumstance is the seeming lack of being able to call that out and saying, this is universally bad, it's evil, it shouldn't be happening. I think that's what the issue is. It's not that it even has happened, because I think it's obvious that it's going to happen. It's that people make excuses for it.
If I knew that this is what communism would be in 2024, I wouldn't have bothered with this shit. Really.
Damn.
Abort is the symbol of the capitalist excess. What the fuck is he thinking? You guys actually believe this idiot is a socialist? Forget a religion. Hasan is the opiate of the masses. Straight to the gulag for anyone subbed to this idiot.
Jesus.
Or that designer dog.
This breed's stunning.
Bro, yes, this is true. He actually is bringing the dog into it. Oh my God. Even the fucking dog.
Coat comes with a price. Chow Chows shed all year.
Very cute, by the way. But those are expensive. The point is, we have the biggest political streamer on our platform that is influencing media and influencing young kids everywhere. Yeah. If we can normalize terrorism, if we could rebrand it, then fuck the US Navy. You know how much those guys don't pay shit. You see the Army ads on Twitch? The Army is fucking broke, dude. I'll tell you who loves America more than the Army. Qatar. Well, I don't know if love's the right word, but they're paying more. Good CPMs coming out of Qatar. Well, you kids love anime, right?
Ooh.
Can't get enough
Tanjiro.
of it. Man, look at what we've already done with Hasan. You're the fucking man, dude. Happy birthday again, man. No, we got a big party for you after.
In a way, I do really feel bad for Dan Clancy because he did inherit this clown show. I don't know why. Like, as far as I know, I don't know if he's reached out to Hasan about this at all. I think that whenever all this stuff happened, I think he should have reached out to a number of creators and, like, tried to work this out. Because I think that him not moderating and dealing with their moderation team and the extremism inside of the company, I think it's going to really damage his credibility in the long run. And I find it to be disappointing because I actually really like Dan. And I'm worried that him kind of using the live and let live policy that he generally has, I think it's going to end up doing the opposite. No, and I know you might not like it. I've met Dan. I've talked with Dan personally multiple times, okay? So, like, I've talked to him privately. It's been fine, right? Just wait. Yeah, so that's... Yeah.
No, don't do it. Let's wait, because we got a big party and a cake and everything for you after in the back. The prostitutes, too. Don't tell anyone. That's a part of the past. Look what we've done already. This Houthi pirate. I mean, who are you kidding? This guy's a fucking terrorist. He literally tweeting out he wants to kill Jews and put their heads on pikes.
The execution that we will carry out on all Zionists? Well, that seems pretty bad.
And somehow, not somehow, because of his genius,
yeah,
we have rebranded the Houthi fucking pirates, the Houthi terrorist organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Islamic fundamentalists.
So this is what they say: God is the greatest. Death to America, death to Israel, a curse upon the Jews, victory to... A curse upon... I feel like that's kind of anti-Semitic. I do. That's the... Yeah. Well, that part's in red, which makes sense, because it's kind of... It's a bit of a red flag.
Death to America, curse upon the Jews.
No.
That's right. That's the Jolly Roger of this man here. None other
and like,
than...
am I crazy for thinking that there's like kind of a distinction between people that are against countries versus against ethnic groups? Like, I don't like, my alarm bells don't go off when somebody is like, I hate America or I hate, Israel or whatever. But like ethnic groups is very different. Now, Zionism isn't an ethnic group, though. And I think that's very fair for you to have said that about the tweet that he made, but I don't think that it's fair for you to say that when he associates with a group of people that has that as their slogan. It's a bit of a nuance, and I can see where you're coming from, but I don't think that that's enough justification.
Monkey D. Luffy. So let's get out there, guys, and let's make 2025 our biggest year, guys. Come on, guys. The resistance isn't perfect. The resistance isn't perfect. Yeah, let's get him. If you want to know where on the political spectrum Hasan sits, take a look at a recent media analysis by Ad Fonte, which rated Hasan as the most extreme left-wing, untrustworthy media source on the internet.
Contains misleading info, contains factual, inaccurate, fabricated info, selective, unfair persuasion. I wonder if they're ever going to put me on this list.
And to give you an idea, he is opposite of InfoWars.
Damn. Who made this list?
Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Hasan loves all terrorists, but what I will say is that there isn't many he don't like. Let's start with our good friend Luffy here and his organization, the Houthis.
And yes, this is what it looks like. They are hiling Hitler.
The Houthis are an Islamic military group. They're known for their cruel measures, forcibly recruiting...
Their hearts go out to everybody who's been negatively affected by Israel. That's what he meant to say.
Child soldiers, shelling civilian areas and blocking food from entering already famine-ruined parts of Yemen.
Which, this is like maybe a nuanced perspective to have, and I know that this is like a negative video about Hasan, but I actually didn't criticize, and I don't criticize, and I support him interviewing the terrorist guy. I actually think that it's a good thing, because I want to hear from those people. Like, I want to see CNN interviewing Al-Qaeda. I want to hear what they're saying. The problem is that it was conducted in a way that seemed to enable the behavior and justify it, rather than put it into a context that is educational and journalistic. And can you guys see kind of what the difference there is? Because I don't want to have people that can't talk to, like, I like the idea of being able to talk to a person who is an extremist or a radical, and I don't want the idea that you can't talk to them to be a factor. I hate that mindset, because I think that mindset is how you get echo chambers, and that's how you get censorship. So hopefully people can see like the context of this, right?
Also set up landmines in agricultural spots, making the fields virtually.
What does this say? Yemen army removes 300 Houthi landmines. How the fuck did they have 300,000 landmines? Holy shit, who's giving them money? Probably the U.S.
Making the fields virtually worthless.
Iran?
Women have virtually no rights.
It's actually
and
not us this
homosexuality,
time?
of course, is punishable by
Really?
death. That lines up with leftist values. Now, just how little rights do women in the Houthis' Yemen have? Well, according to this, there's been 1,181 violations committed by Houthi rebels.
1,181 violations against women, including torture, rape, and murder. The Houthis sure seem like assholes. Yeah, these guys seem like some real dicks.
Against women, including torture, rape, and murder.
Yeah, it seems kind of bad.
Not great. The Houthis have a very wholesome flag, as you can see here. It says, translated, Allah Akbar, death to America, death to Israel, and a curse upon the Jews. And that's all of them, not just the ones in Israel. And of course, victory to Islam. I get amused when these terrorists are like,
why do they hate all the Jews? I don't know. Maybe this is like me opening a can of worms. Like, why do they hate all of them? Is it like some like ancient Bible thing or like a religion thing or what? It's like a religion thing? Okay. It's their war. It's the war enemy. Yeah.
We hate Jews. We want to kill Jews. And then people like Hasan are like, you're fucking racist for saying that they just want to kill Jews and that they're terrorists, man.
What you meant to say is
and the problem is that there is a degree, and I think that there is a consideration that criticism of Israel is oftentimes intentionally misinterpreted as anti-Semitism. But the problem is that the opposite is also true, is that criticism for Jewish people is disguised as criticism for Israel as well. So there's like a lot of intellectual dishonesty that goes both ways.
Allah is Muslim.
Just you're not thinking deep enough about this topic.
My criticisms of the Houthis' slogan do not factor in to what they are doing. Of course, it is anti-Semitic, but contextualizing it matters. Yeah, it's really interesting because like that is such Western-focused propaganda. Like for a Palestinian to arrive at anti-Semitic opinions, okay, they don't need to read Mein Kampf.
It still doesn't make it good, right? I mean, like,
oh, I almost forgot the most fun one. They brought back slavery.
We think the Houthis.
Oh, wow. His Houthis restore slavery in Yemen? Well, that must save a whole lot of money.
What Luffy would do.
That lines up with leftist values. All right, so these guys are clearly the bad guys. So my question is, how does Hasan cover such a genocidal, violent, misogynistic, homophobic, terroristic organization?
Oh, you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure.
These were the people that the Saudis were killing, by the way. Just so you know, these fucking musically gifted individuals.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, I need the money, guys.
I'm gonna grab my food.
Oh, shit. So, imagine being Nick you had to go through, like, think about how many OTK controversies we've had. Then you're put in the middle of this, like, terrorism thing with Hasan. And now there's this girl that you're involved with that keeps doing, it's like doing Nazi salutes and like getting drunk at parties and getting banned. Like, I think Nick's hair is going to go gray before next year. Like, it's actually crazy how many things it's been. I feel bad for the guy, man. Holy shit.
I'm so confused. What is
Did he leave? Did he leave me alone in the video with a propaganda video? There was actually a video game I was gonna play. So like these guys made a video game where it was basically all about killing like other people. Like it's basically like a pro-terrorism video game. And a friend of mine linked it to me and he's like, you should play this. And I looked it up and I would have gotten banned if I had played it. That's why I didn't do it.
That's right, my friend. Hasan just played straight up terrorist propaganda without even being there to analyze it. Surely this must be against terms of service.
It is.
Twitch does not allow content that depicts, glorifies, encourages, or supports terrorism or violent extremist actors. For example, displaying or linking terrorist or extremist propaganda even for the purpose of denouncing such content.
And I think this is the problem that now Twitch has run into, is that they've turned a blind eye on this stuff. And so because they turned a blind eye on it, every single time that somebody gets banned, all of this stuff gets brought up again because it's such an obvious example of them not enforcing their rules. It's the consistency, right? Yeah.
Okay, but what's the rule for endorsing it? Is that okay? The answer is yes, as Hasan was never punished for this blatant violation of Twitch community guidelines. Got it. So denouncing terrorism is bad. Don't do that. Endorsing terrorism is good. Okay, got it, Twitch.
What is going on? Make it a major world war.
Can you explain this? This is a 3-minute video of...
You know what? Maybe I can find one of these guys and we could do like a terrorism tier list. And then we'll see how far Twitch's moderation really goes. Do you think I get banned for making a terrorism tier list with actual terrorists? Would I get banned for that? Do you think so? Yeah, I think I'd probably get in trouble for that. Another 2-week vacation.
What do you mean a music video? When you say music video, I'm expecting like, bad example, Chris Brown dancing, you know?
No. They do like, they do musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you, look, you think I made this?
This isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
No, it is. They do musicals about like their fucking, like their actions all the time.
Hold on, guys, hold on.
It's just, why do you do that? You did not need to do that. Like, that's the kind of stuff that alienates people, I think. I think it massively alienates people.
I've got this. Instead of terrorist propaganda, let's call it musicals.
There you go.
Instead of violent jihadists, let's call them musically talented people.
They're very musical people.
It's the Austrian painters.
Are you being serious?
Guys, let's just use our brains. Fiddler on the Roof, Wicked, Alexander Hamilton, man. There's no reason we can't put these Houthis on Broadway.
Well, they go, listen, you want to fucking bring a ship through here? We're going to take it. So that's exactly what the Houthis start doing. They start fucking sending in helicopters onto fucking ships. Bro, They fucking look at this.
See, like this would be way cooler if the guys on the ship had guns and this was like an actual battle. But like, you're really, I mean, they don't even have guns, man. It's not even fair. Yeah, it's like it's terrorism or something.
They got the Palestinian flag that they painted under the helicopter with the Yemen flag. They fucking overtake. They start overtaking the ship.
They're smurfing, they are.
And they're like, guess what, dog? No more trade to Israel. If you are sending ships into Israel, if you are owned by an Israeli subsidiary.
I've heard that there are like Russian billionaires that apparently are like, I don't know if this is true, but they're like taking their own ships out so they can blow up these pirates. Just, I guess, for fun. It's like people like, there's always a bigger fish, man. It's like the safari, yeah.
If you're owned by an Israeli corporation, we're going to take over your ship. You cannot fucking use this trade route anymore. Guess what, bitch? It's our fucking territorial boundary, and we're going to enforce this until you stop doing genocide in Gaza.
No. So let's review his claims. His first claim is that the boat is headed for Israel. It's not. It's going from Turkey to India. Next claim is that it's owned by an Israeli company. It's not. It's being chartered by a Japanese company, and the boat's owners are registered in the Isle of Man. I'd like to remind everybody that the crew that's kidnapped in this video has been missing for over a year now with zero updates on their health, whereabouts, or anything.
That lines up with leftist values.
Sounds pretty bad. Sounds really fucking bad. Those guys got freed about 2 weeks ago. You know what? Maybe the Houthis aren't so bad then. See, they let him go. Hey, how about that?
Claim is that this attack happened in their territorial waters, which is also a lie. It happened in international waters.
Yeah.
Hasan is lying for the Houthis like he's being paid. And honestly, at this point, is he?
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
No, I'm not calling
I'm a propagandist.
This is like a hostile. They're streaming this?
Yeah. They're flexing.
How many views?
And
I wonder how many views they'd get if they did this on Twitch.
Coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrence. Israeli society is going to start getting upset. They're going to be like, I can't get my treats. I can't get my Amazon Prime deliveries. What the fuck is going on? I hate this. Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
Yeah.
I find it disturbing that Hasan thinks that a slowdown of imports is going to cause Jews to flee Israel. 80% of Israelis were born there and do not have citizenship anywhere else. So where do you want them to go, Hasan?
Don't you tell me that they're going to come to America. We're already dealing with that shit from South. No, man.
To Poland or back to the Arab countries they were forced out of?
Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
By telling the Jews of Israel to go back where they came from, Hasan attempts to deny Jewish heritage in the Middle East. It characterizes them not as indigenous, but as white colonizers. This is despite the fact that 60% of Jews in Israel are actually native to the Middle East.
This is wild.
So these guys
that's my rough historical understanding as well, is that they're both Semitic people.
This, right? They did all of this.
Is that their helicopter?
Yeah.
That looks like a legit helicopter.
It is a legit helicopter.
Probably somehow paid
wild.
So they take it over.
I cannot wait for that Pentagon audit, or that government, that military audit. I cannot wait for that, guys. Because I see these guys that are kitted out, 300,000 mines. Where do you get 300,000 mines? I can think of a couple of places. Yeah, I really want to know what that Pentagon audit is from Iran. Yeah, and where did Iran get them? Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't trust the military at all. I really don't.
They take it over. And they tell the people in the ship, usually like mostly Filipino people, Filipino crews. And they're like, all right, we got no problems with you, but you're coming with us. We're taking over the ship.
Yeah.
What an incredible way to characterize having a gun in your face.
You're coming with us. We're taking over the ship. Yeah, it's pretty much it.
Asking us not to believe our own eyes.
Yeah.
As we watch terrorists
hostilely kidnapped the crew.
We got no problems with you, you know, but you're coming with us. We're taking over the ship.
And once again,
which I mean, to be honest, I think that probably is true. I don't think these terrorists probably really care about the crew at all. They probably don't hate the crew. They know that they're just doing their job, but they're going to use them for leverage because they're terrorists, and that's what terrorists do. It's not personal. It's just part of the job.
Still MIA for over a year. Prisoners to a terrorist organization. But don't worry, guys. Hasan says they have no problem with them.
They're like, all right, well, you know, we got no problems with you, you know, but you're coming with us.
Oh no!
Video of, what do you mean a music video? When you use a music video,
I feel so bad for Nick, man. Like, that's crazy.
Like, are you being serious?
Jesus.
I know they're singing, but I'm seeing this guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
Uh-oh. Oh, God.
I bet Hasan's friend really appreciated being fed terrorist propaganda on camera. Let's see what he had to say.
Because hell, even a couple days ago, I was hanging out with my buddy Hasan, and this guy unironically put a terrorist propaganda music video on and then left the room.
Left the room?
Yeah, and I was just like, and the thing is, like, in hindsight, it's hilarious, you know? But at the same time, I'm like, what is going on here? This is wild to me.
Yeah.
But like, I just, and like, he was like, yo, they're such great dancers.
Oh my God.
I was like, okay.
Wait, is that how it works? If you watch like a politics TikTok, you get recommended Hasan right after? Is that how it works?
Well, I would assume so,
Bro,
yeah.
he's all over this page.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Click it. Dude, Hasan be saying some wild stuff, man. So I don't know if we can.
Here's another incident of Hasan enjoying some Houthi propaganda.
Did you know that I actually have a pin? I don't know how I got this, but somebody gave me this. Maybe it was in like my P.O. box or something. I have a pin from one of these terrorist groups downstairs. Yeah. Because I remember, like, whenever this conversation came up, I was like, wait a minute, I think I've seen that before. And then I went downstairs and I was like, wait a minute, what is this? How did I get this?
How can they not agree with the Houthis when this is the kind of music video that they're coming out with?
They got a beautiful voice too. Yeah, Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude. The fucking mixtape.
Oh, Hasan, my...
It's just like... I think it just makes it look so bad to say that because it's so obvious that you're... It's so obvious what you're doing, right? It's a mixtape. Like, imagine if I was doing this with, like, I don't know, like a Nazi thing or anything else. Like, I would be banned so fast. I would be done. So everybody would be saying this isn't this. Yeah, that'd be a 30-day, man. Like, I'd be on like an indefinite, and I'd be on vacation. But yeah, a mixtape, bro. Like, what is this? I think we're good now, right? Everything's fine? Is we good? Yes? Okay, good. I don't know what that was. Anyway.
Sweet, naive friend. You say that Jews don't sing and dance like that? Then what the fuck do you call this? That's right, bitch. The fuck you stepping on our shit?
Yeah, Israel been real quiet.
I'm not gonna say which one I think was better. I'm just not.
This drop, dude. The fucking mixtape.
Wait, is this the actual audio?
You got a beautiful voice too. Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude.
You gotta admit that this is really fucking entertaining. This video is fucking funny. This is so stupid.
Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got
Anime intro? Yeah.
Houthis been real quiet since this drop, dude.
Now we come to our sweet, beautiful, cute little TikTok twink. This hairless young man is the fantasy of every tween and twix and all the boys and girls on TikTok. He's cute. He's got a mustache. He's a freedom
good-looking
fighter.
guy. Yeah.
Beautiful eyes. They call him Timothy Chalamet. Because he's a Houthi.
Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother. What do you mean? Excuse me. Of course I'm about to have a... I'm a journalist, okay? This is journalism. It's so weird. It's so weird. Motherfuckers want journalism, and when I'm trying to do journalism, they go, why are you doing that? Bro, you are going to get banned? I think it would be ridiculous to do that.
Hasan now has the opportunity to express his journalistic chops, to get his boots on the ground and show us just how good of a reporter he can be.
I'm doing journalism, chat. Does he know what One Piece is?
He's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes. Yes. We love you too, man. Big time. Yeah.
I love you. I love you so much.
We're big fans of the...
Oh, God. See, like, I did try to defend this, right? I did, because I was like, okay, well, I think you should be able to talk to anybody you want. But, man, bringing him on and saying, I love you, that's a lot, right? I mean, it's not really an interview, is it?
The Yemeni music videos, you could tell him that. I want to ask him about the knife. The knives are sick. What's up with the knives? You know, the curved knives.
If one of those knives comes out in front of you, it's not going back until it has blood on it.
Oh, okay.
That sounds like something a terrorist would say.
My bad. Well, I mean, I think it's cool, though. That's so crazy. So they're just chilling with the captains?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
The crews on these ships, and they like win them over with their charm, and they make them hate America and the U.S. government.
That's so funny. I'm a journalist, okay? This is journalism. It's so weird. It's so weird. Motherfuckers want journalism, and when I'm trying to do journalism, they go, why are you doing that? What do you mean? I'm just chilling. We're just having we're just vibing. Yeah, we're just vibing. We're vibing big time.
Hasan uncritically interviewed this kid for about an hour. It was the most brazen display of disgusting terrorist propaganda that I have maybe ever seen in Western media.
What has happened to, does he know what has happened to any of the crews? Like, I heard they...
Hasan almost asked a good question, but it's actually...
That is a good question. Yeah, whatever happened to the crews? Where'd they go?
To the most obscene part of this interview.
He's saying he hasn't spent much time with Chinese people, but one of the captain was Chinese, and he did qat with them, and he danced some music with them, and he was vibing. So he likes him. Yeah.
So I mean, what? That's so crazy. So they're just chilling with the captains? Like, I don't understand.
Ask yourself, why is he able to hang out with the captain and the crew of this pirated ship? Why would he even have access to that? Hasan knows why. Of course, he is a Houthi terrorist. Instead of challenging him and demanding more details about these kidnapped and missing people, he just runs defense for this guy, acting like he doesn't know why that would even happen.
He's saying that they win over the crews on these ships, and they like win them over with their charm, and they make them hate America and the U.S. government.
That's so funny.
It is super funny.
Well, I'm sure that probably happens, because if it doesn't, maybe they kill you. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, if I got kidnapped by these guys, I would try to get along with them too. To be fair, I would. Because if I'm going to be stuck here for like a year with these clowns, I would try to get along with them. But they are terrorists, right? I mean, everyone knows this. We all know this. Damn.
The idea of kidnapped crew members
don't want to get
who are
shot,
being forced probably at gunpoint to do some death to Americas and maybe some curse upon the Jews. And frankly, the callous disregard for the well-being of
They don't even have any soda. They just give them water?
Literal hostages is shocking even for somebody that loves terrorists.
That's so funny. Is there a KFC there? They're everywhere. I don't think there's a KFC in Yemen, dog.
Yeah. How often do the hostages get KFC? Ask him that. I want to know.
He says they have to.
Oh, they do have KFC in Yemen? That's crazy. Okay, that's sick.
Is there a KFC in Yemen? No way, dude! Holy fuck!
0?
There's a KFC in Yemen! He's just like us!
Does he know what One Piece is?
What if he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes. That's fire. That's so fire. Oh my God. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
You guys all remember Luffy's flag, right? Now, I'm only halfway through that show, so maybe I just haven't come to it yet. But I do not remember Luffy's flag looking like this. Predictably, there was some...
Does Luffy kidnap people and then rape and murder them? Does he do that? I don't really watch One Piece. Does he do that? No? Okay.
Blowback after this interview.
That's the
and
next
Hasan
season.
went immediately into damage control to rewrite history.
He said that he was just simply a Yemeni person and not a Houthi. Yeah, I mean, we don't even know if a Houthi or not. He's a teenager in Yemen. The dude is neither a Houthi, nor a terrorist, nor a pirate, is not a Houthi rebel. They didn't fucking call him a Houthi either. You want to know why? Because he's not one.
Did Mudahar do a video about it? Look at the fucking subtitles. Being a proper journalist, you get on your knees and suck their dick for about yeah. Oh God.
He's not a Houthi himself. He's not a pirate, but you know, I don't think he's not a pirate. He has reiterated the position he is not a Houthi. Trust me, bro, I'm not Houthi. Be for real. You sucked him off the entire stream. Not even a Houthi militant or anything like that. When I interviewed the dude who they still to this day call a Houthi terrorist, Tim Houthi's not even a fucking Houthi. I thought he wasn't a Houthi because he's not. No, he was just some fucking Yemeni TikToker. Random fucking Yemeni teenager. Didn't you brand it as him being a Houthi interview, though? Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother.
Ooh.
What do you mean?
All right, let's just take Hasan's word for it and assume, okay, this kid is not a Houthi rebel. He's just some ordinary Yemen teenager. Let's go ahead and take a look at his social media and see if that lines up.
All right, let's see here.
Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Can you believe this guy would use AI? That's so unethical.
Eve will burn in the coming hours, ready for sacrifice and eager for martyrdom.
Ready for sacrifice and eager for... Oh, okay. Sounds good. Just an average guy.
Talking about football? Here he is singing a song with the words, "Do you threaten us with what we are waiting for, son of a Jew?" Meaning of Houthi is a title, and it's not something to fear, but for the Jews. They are very afraid of this title. The execution we will carry out on all Zionists, with the lovely depiction of a man impaled through his asshole and out of his mouth with a pike. Or, how Hasan likes to say it, a pike for a cut. Okay, why would he retweet this article called Houthis use social media
to boost... So he's retweeting an article that's categorizing him as a Houthi that has him as the front page image, but he's not a Houthi? Huh.
Boost global prominence and support. Israel falls. Wait for the new operation in Tel Aviv. The Jaffa drone, which
Israel falls. Okay.
No Israeli defense can stop. The ships we bombed and sank. You know the red arrow is supposed to be a cool...
The red arrow. Bro, Gen Z terrorists. The world is not ready. It does look like a butt plug. It does.
Cool military Hamas thing. This is a butt plug. Just saying. To every Zionist, I will put this into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew and Zionist is clearly interchangeable to this guy. Okay, but hating Jews doesn't make you a Houthi. Are you a soldier? Yes.
Well, that settles it. Okay.
That seems pretty definitive. You know what makes you a Houthi? Being a Houthi. At least one of the two of them is being honest about it.
Yeah.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh. Sick. Yes. That's fire. And that's so fire. Oh my God. We think the Houthis is doing what Luffy would do.
Man.
They're tweeting an image of a Jewish person on a pike. I don't understand why this problem can't be approached with nuance. Because he is a teenager in Yemen, dude.
Talk about the bigotry of low...
I feel like if you're a teenager, like, you can still be a terrorist. I mean, I think you can get into terrorism really early. Yeah, I mean, fuck, man, of course. Yeah, look at Joseph Kony's army. They got kids that's 9 years old with guns.
Expectations. He's a kid in Yemen, dude. What do you expect? Of course he's going to want to put a pike through a Jew's asshole and through his mouth. That's just what kids in Yemen are like, man.
Yeah. And also, what do you mean? It's just a person on a pike. There's no Jewish person on a pike on that photo unless I saw something different.
Well, to be fair, this is like an old medieval torture technique. So maybe this guy wasn't Jewish.
Hasan claims this isn't even a Jewish person on the pike. How exactly is a naked piked person supposed to look like a Jew for you, Hasan? You know what? You're right. Let me make it a little clearer for you.
You're gonna. Oh no.
First, he needs a bigger.
Hey, I didn't do it. All right.
Nose, right, Hasan? Of course, he needs a yarmulke, the curly things. Oh, look,
Oh,
Hasan.
God.
He dropped his dreidel. He must be Jewish for sure. Or, you could just read what he wrote, you dumbass, liar, terrorist-loving, propagandist piece of shit.
This is why this entire conversation is fucking idiotic. Yeah. It's not a Jewish person. He said, I think if we're... Why am I held accountable for some random fucking 19-year-old in Yemen?
To be fair, Hasan did read that off of chat. Look, watch this.
Why am I held accountable? Person
look at this. Is Hasan supposed to be held accountable for someone else's tweet? Because he read that and he's like, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
He said, I think if Why am I held accountable for some random fucking 19-year-old in Yemen's tweets? What is happening? How many steps removed are we from this situation?
I told you guys I can read chat real fast.
I mean, you platformed him. Do you not remember? Did the check not clear or something? When faced with fair criticism for his coverage of the Houthi Luffy, he has a total meltdown.
I fucking despise all of you, dude. I do. I really do. I hate all of you. You successfully.
I think the problem really is just the way that he interviewed the guy. I don't think it was a problem to interview the guy at all. I think it'd be fine. But it's just the way he did it, and it seemed like glazing, right? Like I don't know. I feel like it's so obvious, right? It's so obvious.
Successfully got me to talk about this, and my patience is running thin on this matter. The endless selfishness. The untapped well of American selfishness and American individualism is in full display. How is this the conversation that you want to have right now?
One of the most cynical methods
What does America individualism have to do with this guy wanting to kill Jews? Like, I mean, I feel like it's not really the same thing. I feel like we're kind of talking about two different things.
On deploys to sidestep any criticism is to deflect to the ongoing genocide in Gaza. I've seen him do this so many times. He frames it like you are selfish for trying to criticize him, no matter what the reason is, because there's a genocide happening, man. How can you criticize me at a time like this?
Claiming that I am, too pro-Houthi. When someone is focusing on that while there's an active fucking ethnic cleansing campaign happening. He also apparently thinks Twitch is
Well, it's also, I mean, the thing is that it's true that Israel does bad things, but just because Israel does bad things doesn't mean the other people don't also do bad things. The problem is when you pretend only one side is doing the bad things. Like, I feel like it's just so obvious, right? I mean, isn't it? I mean, am I crazy? I don't think that I'm crazy. Like, and I can even see, I think it's very easy for somebody to, especially if you've grown up and and I've gotten into trouble for saying this, right? But it's easy for me to see how somebody would become a terrorist if they were in an area like that. You've grown up that way. You've had your entire environment is like that. You've been, culturally groomed to think this way. I can understand why that would happen. You could, of course you could see why this would happen. But in the same way that you can see how some serial killers become serial killers, that doesn't mean that it's okay to be a serial killer, right? It's like if you explain hey, yeah, this is what happened and this is how it got here, it's not an excuse. Well, it's not that it's an excuse. It's that you have to look at how a person's material circumstances cause them to behave in a certain way. I think that's very fair to say that. That's totally okay. But to justify their current actions is the problem. I think that you can do both. You can look at it with a sense of empathy, and you can look at where they're coming from and why this has happened and what led to this outcome, while at the same time condemning their current actions. I think this is the way a lot of reasonable people could see things. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. Yes, exactly. Do not justify. Yeah, yeah, of course.
Liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life. In the middle of fucking talking about fucking genocide in Gaza, and this dumb fuck. Blow your nose, brother. Love you. Not trying to be mean. Just keep some tissue nearby and clear it out occasionally when needed. Much love. Fuck you, dude. My argument sucks. You think it justifies genocide? What are you, stupid?
I think that a lot of people use this argument is that it's basically it's okay for us to do bad things or to behave in ways that are semi-indefensible because we're doing it for a greater good. Huge problem.
That can be tangentially turned into Jewish people are under attack is a decent way to just drive discourse away from open genocide in Gaza. If your sole focus when Israel is doing a complete genocide in Gaza, if your sole focus revolves around that people are saying you're a Zionist, yeah, go fucking...
I don't think that's a sole focus. I think that both things can be a focus, and I think this is the problem, is that it's like the one-dimensional nature of how it's turned into.
Yell at streamers for not covering sufficiently the ongoing active genocide in Gaza instead of coming in here and fucking chirping at me.
It's quite a charge to just say, I'm a stenographer of the Israeli government or I'm a propagandist. I don't think there's any evidence that I'm either of those things. I'm curious who you think I am doing
While
the
we're
propaganda
having this
for.
conversation, 3,000... Piers, while we're having this back and forth, 3,840 Palestinians have been ruthlessly slaughtered in the last incursion into Gaza. I feel like this is an incredibly selfish...
This is an emotional argument that you're using to deflect from the fact that you made criticisms and accusations against somebody that are indefensible. And so you're trying to take the moral high ground to justify what you were doing. That's absolutely what was happening. And by the way, Hasan knows this. He knows he's doing this.
Self-centered conversation to have.
This technique is so powerful because everyone is afraid of being labeled as a genocide denier. Piers Morgan, with decades of experience, immediately surrenders when the genocide card is pulled.
When you're just a fucking stenographer, you're not a truth teller.
He has every right to defend himself. And grow a pair, Piers. Stand up for yourself, man. It's time to stop being intimidated by these online...
I'm going to be honest. I actually think Piers Morgan I think that while he's been critical of, like, Palestine, I think that he actually is sympathetic towards them a lot. And I think that he's provided a lot of coverage to people that are very pro-Palestine, much more so than what a lot of other newscasters have done. I think that initially people looked at his coverage as being a little bit unfair, but he provided a lot of platforms for these people to talk about it. Piers doesn't like Israel. I get that feeling too. I wouldn't say that, but I get that feeling.
An overnight activist who couldn't even point to Gaza on a map before October 7th. Like Hasan, for example.
Doesn't know where Yemen is? Okay, I'm gonna click close. I'm closing it. I'm closing it. I think nope. There
it is.
Got it.
How can you claim to actually care about this genocide when you're willing to so cynically exploit it?
To sidestep any criticism.
What a bigot. Before we move on, Hasan has one final taste of idiocy for us all to enjoy.
Now this kid.
Oh, that's me. I'm in this one.
Like, I think he was like 19 at the time when I talked to him. Which means that for most of his life, he has withstood genocide, right? Like he is a person.
Yeah, because I agreed. I could see what he's saying. Yes, absolutely.
Only experience is like, it's literally like talking to fucking Anne Frank, basically. Okay, being able to talk.
I forgot about this part. Oh God, the Anne Frank thing. Oh geez. I remember I was laying in bed talking to him.
Anne Frank. In real time.
To quote Anne Frank, I keep my ideals because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. Anne Frank continues to inspire generations of people because...
You agreed? No, what I agreed on is that I think that a person's material conditions will impact their viewpoints on the world. And I think that if you deny a person their humanity and their liberty, that they will act out and be violent and dangerous. I think that's what will happen. Whether you want to justify that or not, I think that will happen. And if you can't see it from that person's perspective, then you're not understanding the problem. And if you can't understand a problem, you can't solve a problem. So I think the first way to look at why are these people terrorists is to figure out exactly how they got there. Because there's two ways to get rid of terrorists, right? You can kill the existing terrorists, or you can prevent future people from becoming terrorists. Now, in my opinion, I think you should do both.
In the face of a genocide that eventually took her and her entire family's life, except for her dad, she refused to give in to hate, malice, and violence. And then there's this guy, who would have killed Anne Frank if he ever met her.
You might
Probably
think
true.
this is a sweet, innocent girl. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys we are working on a new edition just for you, Hasan. You should hear about the time she went roaming the streets of Berlin at night with a knife, slitting the throats of families, including children, babies, and the elderly.
Not so
She's
good.
killed children, you guys. She even rapes people. She's just like Luffy. There is no other way to describe this than terrorist propaganda. Not only is he platforming terrorist propaganda, right, uncritically, he's participating in it. He's enhancing it. He is not just a conduit. He is an active participant who's disseminating it to more and more people in a way more consumable form.
I think Ethan's right. I do. I don't think you can defend that behavior. I think that he does it in a way that's irresponsible and it's also counterproductive. I think he's right about this. I don't see how you can not come to this conclusion.
This is extremely fucked up. But why should he care? Their flag doesn't say death to fucking Turks. It says curse upon the Jews. Hasan likes to obfuscate on this and says nobody cares when Sean Penn interviewed El Chapo.
Sean Penn literally interviewed El Chapo. Exactly, dude.
Nobody is saying you can't have difficult conversations with controversy.
Well, didn't Sean Penn also beat the shit out of Madonna? I mean, I wouldn't really look at Sean Penn as the pinnacle of morality, right? He did? Yeah.
People. You just have to ask them hard questions, guys. We know this. Now let's move on to everybody's favorite terrorist organization, our friends in the north. It's Hezbollah.
Ooh.
Where do I even begin? Thousands of civilians have been killed globally from their terrorist acts, car bombs, and suicide attacks. They even assassinated the Lebanese prime minister. They've hijacked civilian airplanes. They've shot 15,000 rockets into civilian centers. And if you can imagine, that's not even the worst things they've done. They participated in the slaughter of over 500,000 Syrian civilians to help a dictator, Bashar Assad, stay in power.
Well, he's fucking out.
Indiscriminately bombed over civilian centers, and they killed hundreds of thousands of civilians in what can only be described.
Finally, yeah. As I said, I had a friend who has like family there, sent me some of the stuff there, and I heard some stuff about that guy and like the way he ran things. And after what I heard, I was actually shocked that American media didn't cover it at all. Like it seemed to be like that to me was like another kind of like black pill recently we did. Not as much as I think they should have, proportionally.
As a genocide.
Got glossed
they are
over.
a designated terrorist group by the U.S., by the EU, and, the entire Arab League, which gave them that status after their participation in the Syrian genocide. In short, nobody likes them. Well, there is one person.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
They are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Yeah.
Well, like
I like what you like.
Wow.
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say.
This is Hezbollah's leader, Hasan Nasrallah. According to Hasan Piker, this man is a brilliant freedom fighter. But before we get into
smart, but
to that, let's see how he feels about Jewish people. Here are some choice quotes from Hezbollah's leader, Hasan Nasrallah. According to Shaul Shai, Hasan Nasrallah said in a speech delivered in Beirut, "What do the Jews want? They want security and money. Throughout history, the Jews have been Allah's most cowardly and avaricious creatures. If you look all over the world, you will find no one more miserly or greedy than they are."
Miserly. Wait, is it miserly?
I don't have an issue with them.
If we search the entire world for a person more cowardly, despicable, weak, and feeble in psyche, mind, ideology, and religion, we would not find
like, I feel like I could have read this from like one of those like Nazi accounts on Twitter that has like a picture of like a Roman emperor statue as a profile picture. I feel like this is exactly the kind of shit that I read on Twitter. Or an anime, no, you're right, or an anime girl.
anyone like the Jew. Notice, I do not say Israeli.
I don't have an issue with them.
If Jews all gathered in Israel, it will save us the trouble of going after them worldwide.
guys, I think this... Man, he's really out there, huh? Wow, I don't think he likes... Yeah, I don't think he likes Jews.
The history of Jews has proven that, regardless of the Zionist proposal, they are a people who are evil in their ideas. The state of the grandsons of apes and pigs, the Zionist Jew, the murderers of the prophet. The Jews invented the legend of the Nazi atrocities.
I don't have it.
Wow. No, we're not making a 99% joke again, guys.
Issue with them.
But I will say that I think this guy is way less than 99% sure. Way less.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen. Listen. You have to remember something, okay? A lot of these dudes, you see them in their fucking fits, and you hear about, like, some of their attitudes about, like, gay people, for example, and you immediately fucking resort to Orientalist perspectives, not realizing that these...
Orientalist perspectives? I feel like it's pretty easy to say not to kill gay people, right? I mean, like, damn, it's like, I don't think that this is really that complicated. Yeah. It's just bad to do. It's bad to kill gay people. I mean, shit. Like, what the fuck? What are we talking about?
Motherfuckers are better read than you by a million.
Well, so are the Nazis. The Nazis are really smart, too. It doesn't mean that they're right. I think Hasan Nasrallah was extremely intelligent and very educated. Same with Osama bin Laden. You've got to keep in mind, these guys are so smart, they can convince other people to blow themselves up for them. Yeah, they're really smart. Doesn't mean that they're right. Yeah, the Unabomber. Look at the Unabomber.
Okay. Like, it's not a broken clock situation. No, dude. Half of these dudes literally get educated.
I think it is a broken clock situation.
In America and in the UK. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Well, so is Kim Jong-un, but that doesn't mean Kim Jong-un was okay or a good person. Didn't he go to college in Sweden, I think? Or Switzerland or something like that? Yeah, it's not like he was educated in North Korea. So, like, is Kim Jong-un good if he gets educated here? I don't think so.
Educated in America and in the UK. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
The more you learn,
this is why it's Orientalist to literally look at these dudes and go, oh no, they're fucking barbaric baboons, and like sometimes they get this shit right. No, dude, he knows. It's crazy. He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
Knowledge.
And also, ultimately, he is regarded as a pretty brilliant a person.
I don't know why people have such a hard time being able to establish the reality that there are a lot of very bad people that are extremely intelligent. This is a reality. Like, both of these things are very, very true. I don't know. And also, by the way, a lot of bad people are really intelligent because they're smart enough to make their ideas work. The dumb people that are bad, those are the ones that go to jail at like 17 because they tried to rob a bank with a banana.
In terms of like everything that he's done, you might not agree with his methods. You might not agree with his attitude overall in terms of like, in terms of his opinions on civil liberties and shit like.
Last week, Nasrallah said gay people, even if they do it once, are to be okay.
That. But ultimately, this motherfucker has read a shit ton of books.
Knowledge.
I feel I've shown you guys enough evidence that Hezbollah is an evil terrorist organization, but have you considered this?
Somebody asked me, do you think Twitch is being hypocritic with an agenda? Yeah, I think that they are hypocritical, and I think that a lot of the people that work at Twitch support this. I'll just come out and say it. I think that they do support this. And I think that there have been enough leaks from like internal comments that they've made that I think you can draw that conclusion. I do. No, I'm not saying any specific person, but I think that there are people at Twitch who have important positions who do say these things and do believe these things. And I think that they exercise that power at the company. We really have people wanting gays to die in chat? Well, yeah, of course. I mean, we got 47,000 people watching the show. I mean, killing gay people is pretty popular. I mean, fuck, a lot of people do it. Yeah, I mean, we have an international audience. People from all across the world watch. Yeah, we're going to get some homophobes in here. That's right. Yeah. That's the way it is.
You meant to say is Hezbollah is Muslim. Okay? That's what you meant to say. What you meant to say is they're Muslim. So, of course, as they're Muslim, it's different.
If you're wondering why Hasan...
I don't like the idea that you can't criticize certain religions. I think that it's ridiculous. I find it to be just so intellectually dishonest. If you, like, any idea should be criticized and can be criticized. And I think that's true with, like, that's what I was saying about anti-Americanism. I think that it's true with anything. Any idea, any action should be, like, nothing should be above criticism. You should be able to criticize Jewish people. You should be able to criticize Islamic people, Christians, Scientologists, anything. The exact same.
Hasan's audience is so radicalized, it's because of stuff like this.
Israel, America's greatest ally, the most important country in the world, the most
Nick is so stressed out.
Ally,
look at his face.
The most important country in the world,
like, oh
the
my
most
God.
moral nation, the most moral democracy on the planet, is ruthlessly and mercilessly bombing southern Lebanon, including southern Beirut.
What did Lebanon do?
They just kind of were there. They happen to be Israel's neighbor.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Even as someone who's critical of Israel, this retelling is fucking insane.
They just kind of were there.
Hezbollah started launching rockets into Israel hours after the October 7th raid began. They launched 12,000 rockets, killed nearly 100 people, including 12 children, and displaced 250,000 Israelis from northern Israel. That's what caused them to respond.
What did Lebanon do?
Shit. Why did he ask that? What do I say? Do I tell him the real reason? No, my audience will kill me for being a Zionist. Okay, let's try this.
Just a minute. I'll be right back. AI is crazy. Yeah, I think that might have been AI. Probably was.
Just kind of were there. Hell yeah, another slick political saved by boots on the ground Hasan Piker. Damn, I'm good.
Even as a pro-Palestine activist, how does lying about this serve your agenda? All it does is further radicalize people. It removes any...
That's exactly what I was saying. 100%.
Any nuance, and it avoids any criticism for his team. And this is what continues to drive this conflict on forever. Hasan is dedicated to pleasing his radical audience, even at the price of knowingly lying to them for TikTok and Twitter likes.
I'm a propagandist.
Or he's being paid, which, you know, we can't rule out. What a pathetic propagandist piece of shit liar he is. And now, let's move to Hamas, the catalyst for this entire thing. They're the ones that committed this horrible act of terrorism, one of the worst the world has ever seen, on October 7th. They are without a doubt the most extreme of all of these terrorist organizations. They are Islamic jihadists that want to convert all of Israel into an Islamic state under Sharia law. That's their stated goal. Hamas has been on the designated terrorist group
pretty much as long as there's been a group. These guys have been suicide bombing civilians before ISIS leaders were even born. They fired 50,000 rockets into civilian populations and performed over 100 suicide bombings, killing thousands of civilians. Women are restricted from participating in the workplace and public life. Homosexuality is outlawed, and in some cases, of course, punishable by death. They steal foreign aid from the people of Gaza and repurpose it for military use, or they just sell it back to them. For example, why are all the Hamas leaders billionaires?
We need to do this Pentagon audit. Yeah, we need to, like, guys. Oh, we gotta do this.
And let's be real, these guys clearly are not skipping any meals. While the people of Gaza languish in poverty...
Stop implying that shit? No, I actually do think that, like, I'm going to just say it straight out. I think the U.S. military and, like, defense companies that do things for the U.S. military do have interplay with these people. And I think that it's not direct, but there's intermediaries between it. And I think that they are indirect beneficiaries of our military-industrial complex. I think so. And also, there is a chance that I'm wrong. That's why we do the audit. Let's find out.
These fine gentlemen are living in multi-million-dollar penthouses in Qatar.
That lines up with leftist values. Or, well, they were billionaires. Because they're all dead. They killed it all. They're all dead. Hamas is a bunch of psychopathic terrorists of the worst order. And nobody would be crazy enough to defend them. No, is this Hassan again?
Oh, no.
Hassan defended Hamas? Seriously? Okay.
We had to make last-minute changes to this part to prevent it...
Oh, my God.
...from being age-restricted on YouTube. I cut out the footage from Hamas, and I will attempt to narrate it for you as best I can. In this scene, an older woman is walking hand in hand with a girl who looks about 12. And as they're getting in the back of the van, one of the terrorists gives them a wave goodbye and says goodbye to them in English.
Goodbye.
And the two of them smiling wave back.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dog. Dude. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. That actually, okay, that's too much. That's more than I expect. Bro, every time they're releasing hostages, the next wave they're gonna be like, actually, I'm good. Like, I'm staying.
These hostages are being released at gunpoint by the people who likely murdered their family.
Hamas. Oh, God. I mean, like, we have, listen, like, we have wild boys in our chat, too. So, like, it's not like this is his fault. But, like, it's just funny to see it.
In front of them before kidnapping them. Hasan peddling this narrative that they're sad to leave their captors is beyond disgusting.
The next wave, they're going to be like, actually...
Well, and it's also, like, I mean, the Stockholm Syndrome is a well-established thing. And I think also, like, if you have to spend a year with somebody, yeah, some people will end up just getting along because that's what people do. Sure. I mean, I could see it. It's all bullshit? Wait a minute.
Good.
It's plainly obvious these are traumatized victims who are scared for their life and doing what the terrorists are telling them to do in order to avoid any conflict on the way out.
Stop it? Well, I don't know. I feel like Stockholm Syndrome is a well-established reality, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the people treated them well or that they were good people. It's just a psychological phenomenon that's been observed in multiple cases. There's nothing wrong with saying that, and I'm not going to be tone policed into saying that it's bad. This is it's just, listen, I'm a very reasonable person. I'm not going to get fucking oh my God, you can't say that. Yeah, I can, and I will.
Oh, look at the sweet masked terrorist with his AK-47. He's so nice. Did you guys see how he waves goodbye?
Dude, okay, I'm gonna be honest. This is some crazy PR.
They look traumatized as fuck. Wait, what?
I wonder
Bro,
why.
They look like they're chilling.
This girl who had her foot blasted off on October 7th and then operated on without anesthesia or painkillers is so sorry to say goodbye to her captors.
Cute overdrive. I love it.
She's going to miss their hospitality, like being raped and being watched showering and changing.
The next wave, they're gonna be like, actually, I'm good.
Teens forced to perform sexual acts on each... Oh, that sounds pretty bad. Women and men are being raped by Hamas. Israeli women held hostage. Okay.
Like, actually, I'm good.
Right now, someone is being raped in that tunnel. Uh-huh.
Like, I'm saying.
There's a lot of these.
So obvious the terrorists are telling them what to do. Ethan, how can you say that? They look so happy.
There's no proof. I feel like the problem isn't that they're doing it, and just wait. The problem is that people are defending them. Of course this happens. It has happened in every army, in every war, in history. This always happens. The problem is that it's being defended. That's the issue.
Keep waving. These morons forgot to cut out this part. Yes, that's a terrorist giving them an order to keep waving. And she does.
Yeah.
See how fast she reacts? Totally not a fearful victim of terroristic kidnapping. Anyone peddling this nonsense should be embarrassed and ashamed. How pathetic can you get?
The next wave, they're going to be like, actually, I'm good. Bro, they look like they're chilling.
All right, the Houthis is one thing, but he's not going to turn on Hamas propaganda videos and watch it.
He had to turn it. Ethan couldn't show that because it would have been age restricted. The video would have been, because it's like you can't show literal terrorists doing that stuff, right?
There's no way. Okay, it's getting hard to defend him. Freedom fighters, musical shit.
Here is a video that came out of how Hamas produces their own motherfucking sniper rifles.
He can hardly contain his admiration for them.
Produces their own motherfucking sniper rifles.
Let's see how long he can go without offering any commentary or analysis on this Hamas hype video.
To be fair to Hasan, there are a lot of videos that he just plays and he doesn't really react to while he's eating. I'm not saying that makes it okay, but let's be honest.
Is that COD?
One minute, 36 seconds. Nice. He's taken his time to analyze and think. I expect nothing less from a journalist such as Hasan.
Quiet, everybody. He's about to speak. He's going to talk.
That's crazy.
Oh, shit. That's great. Wow.
He's done it again.
Oh, shit.
We will continue killing your soldiers by our locally manufactured snipers. Wow, there's a little message for the Americans out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying like artisanal snipers. So why am I showing you this?
Good question. Why are you showing us 2 minutes of uninterrupted Hamas propaganda? I'm sure he has a good answer.
The reason why I'm showing you this is because one thing that the Israeli maintenance of the apartheid has shown us is that
There are no half measures on genocide. You either got to hit the full gen, okay? You can't.
The full gen. Wait, is that what I think? Oh my god. Oh man, that's fucking good. Write that one down. Yeah.
On genocide, you either got to hit the full gen, okay? Yeah. You can't do half genocide, a little bit of displacement, and then continue maintaining an apartheid state and maintaining an occupation.
Yeah.
Okay? Which is basically what America did back in the day when, you know, we were building America, Manifest Destiny, right?
Hold on. You showed this to us because of Manifest Destiny? The fuck are you talking about? This is just word salad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really saying nothing here. So he has no good reason. Got it. Okay, fine. He likes Hamas. He watches their propaganda. But he's not going to deny the violent rapes that took place. That is way beyond the pale.
There is one instance in captivity that we have actually gotten verifiable evidence on. Beyond that, the systematized mass rapes that Hamas dealt on October 7, not a single bit of that has been verified. And people still run with it over and over and over again.
I feel like there are two very important terms that are being used here in order to displace accountability. Systematic and mass. So it's like there are rapes that are probably happening, right? But if you try to categorize it in this way that maybe it's not like, oh, it's Tuesday at 6 p.m., oh, that's rape day. That doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't happening.
Young people who are simply attending a music festival. Women were horribly raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself.
What rapes did Hezbollah do? Bro, what rapes did Hamas do? What are you talking about? The Stop Anti-Semitism account that considered me to be anti-Semite of the week has also been hallucinating rapes once again, doing rape fantasies once again, because they're fucking mentally ill.
I wonder why all of it seems interesting because like a lot of the women that get released, a lot of them are talking about how rapes happen. It seems like the only people that are saying that it's not happening are the people that might be doing it. And so like and the people that are defending it too. Yeah, sure. Well, like, I don't know. I mean, that seems kind of odd.
Hamas has committed horrific acts of sexual violence and took
women and girls, men and boys slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people that can't contend with. Like,
I can't believe how quickly leftists go from believe all women to pics or it didn't happen. The vast majority of people, if not all, who were raped were murdered on the spot, obviously.
Gam Goldstein Almog was kidnapped from her home on October 7th by Hamas terrorists and was held captive for 51 days. Though only 17 years old, she witnessed the murder of her father and sister on that day and is now speaking out about what she witnessed in Gaza as well in a new documentary by Sheryl Sandberg, Screams Before Silence. In new footage, Agam reveals that sexual assault and rape was a regular component of the life.
Of course they did it. Duh. Like, fucking obviously they did this. Like, how did people think this wasn't happening? It's no shit. Yeah, of course.
As a hostage in Gaza.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7.
Hasan, maybe you would like to call her a liar.
Please, go right ahead.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th.
There are dozens of testimonies from witnesses, most of who were in hiding and heard or saw it happen. And each week, there's more stories coming out. There's a UN report that concludes it happened.
Doesn't matter.
But Hasan needs a rape kit from a mutilated body. It's so vile to deny the suffering and trauma of the victims just because you need
and it's also just common sense. I mean, this has been happening for thousands of years. They've been doing this. Like, what are the odds that it's not happening this time? Like, really? Like, and just take a step back and think about this. The thing that always happened isn't happening this one time. Uh-huh. Okay. For sure.
Heroes at Hamas to be perfect. This conflict will never end until people realize that Palestinian liberation and Israeli security are not mutually exclusive. You need both, and it can be done, but not while people like Hasan lie, propagandize, and incite hate. It's people like him, ironically, that prolong the conflict indefinitely. There's no space for conversation. There's no space for rational thought. There's no space for nuance. My position on Palestine is like 5 degrees off from where Hasan is. And to him and his community, I'm the devil. I'm a Nazi.
I think that's what's happened with a lot of leftist perspectives and a lot of leftist platforms. And I think that, like, this is what happened. And I think that Hasan used to give a lot more kind of measured, like, feedback and, like, criticism. And I think he gave a lot more measured, like, takes on things. And I feel like one of the turning points of what happened was, like, I remember Hogwarts Legacy. And, like, in Hogwarts Legacy, like, he was like, yeah, I think people are going a little bit too overboard with, like, their criticism for this. And I remember, like, a lot of his fan base turned on him and they got really mad at him for saying that. And I feel like ever since then, I think that he's gotten a lot, like, I don't think he's gone against his audience and against certain types of extremism since that. And I think that this has happened with a lot of people, is that more and more that they get kind of in this, like, kind of, it's like a vicious circle. I don't really want to say that it's entirely like audience capture, but I think it's a kind of like a vicious circle of, like, radicalization where the audience radicalizes the streamer and then the streamer radicalizes the audience. And I think that you had people that were giving more measured opinions for things, maybe let's say like 5 years ago or 3 years ago, kind of refrain from doing that now because they're worried about kind of upsetting the extremists in their group. And I think this has been, I think Hasan has been a victim of this. Not that he's necessarily not in control of his own destiny, but I think that his content has had that happen. And brother, you've been radicalized by your audience? No, I'm sure people are going to say that about me too. People are going to say that's the obvious, like, yeah, no you, right? I mean, of course people are going to say no you. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that I think that's happened with him as well, right? I don't think that that's happened with me personally, and I'm sure he'll probably disagree with him happening it to him, with him thinking that it happened to him. I'm sure he's probably not going to say, "Oh yeah, I did this for sure." But that's what my take is on it, as somebody who's watched the content over years. Does that make sense?
It's delusional thinking, and it's destructive to their own cause.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. God forbid you throw up the fucking green Hamas banner.
Whoa, yeah. It's kind of bad, right? Yeah. What is this? God.
And now, let's move on to our next terrorist organization, Twitch TV. Sinwar, Nasrallah, Dan Clancy. Of course,
I think this is irresponsible to do that. This is a point. I think that Ethan shouldn't have put that in the video. That's too much.
I'm being a little silly when I call Twitch a terrorist organization.
It's a joke. I know it's a joke, but I just... Look, I've been very consistent about advocating violence and these kinds of things. He's being silly. I know he's being silly. I know he doesn't mean it. I just don't think we should do that. That's all.
It's only a megaphone for terrorist propaganda. Dan Clancy has been
And by the way, I want you guys to like, do you see how I said that and a lot of people got mad at me for it and they're still getting mad at me for this? That's the exact thing that I think a lot of people are afraid of. I'm not afraid of making a lot of people mad because I make so much content that even the worst controversy is like non-existent after a week. So I don't need to worry about this. But a lot of other people are terrified of it.
For a few years, and under his leadership, there's been a few notable instances, one being reducing the premium subscription split from 70-30 to 50-50.
He went back
which he
on
reversed
that.
after Backlash. Yeah. He also attempted to ban the size of sponsored logos on stream to 3% of the size of the screen, was also reversed after Backlash. So he's essentially achieved nothing. Oh, well, there is one thing. He actually laid off 900 employees. That one he did not take back. But here's where the trouble begins. He likes Hasan.
By the way, I mean, you lay off 900 employees, Twitch works pretty much the fucking same. I mean, kind of interesting, huh? Huh. How about that?
Really likes Hasan.
Let me read you an excerpt from a recent interview Dan did. Not a gamer himself, Clancy mostly watches musicians or talk shows on Twitch. He particularly enjoys leftist political commentator Hasan Piker. I like the frankness and the bluntness. He's comfortable saying whatever he believes. Don't you think that might be part of the problem there, Danny boy?
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th.
By speaking what he believes.
Well, I think the problem is that these guys get banned and then Hasan doesn't get banned for speaking what he believes. I think that a lot of people would respect Dan for saying that if these other guys were also given a platform. But like Nick is banned, Alex Jones, as far as I know, is banned. Sneeko has been banned and unbanned. Myron, I'm not really sure where he's at right now. But like the problem is that it's a biased perspective that's masquerading as an ideology. You don't like the fact that people are blunt and outspoken. You just agree with them because other people who are blunt and outspoken get banned. That's the issue. That's the problem. And CatDany too. Like, I know earlier I was criticizing CatDany and being negative about him, but CatDany does not deserve to be banned on Twitch. He should not be banned on Twitch. What he got banned for was ridiculous, and it was completely unfair. Destiny is sex. Listen, I'm not going to get into that. This is before any of those allegations came out. Unless he got banned for something that's totally off the table that I don't know about, nothing publicly that CatDany did while he was on Twitch should have caused him to get banned. And it was outrageous that he did.
He should be on Rumble with the other fringe radical political streamers. But no, not under Dan Clancy's watch. Dan has elevated him to the status
of
Twitch.
Banned? No, my viewpoint is that nobody should be banned. I think the only thing that you should get banned for is advocating for violence and doxing and maybe like 3 other things, right? So my perspective is Hasan shouldn't be banned, Sneeko shouldn't be banned, Nick shouldn't be banned, CatDany shouldn't be banned, Alex Jones shouldn't be banned, and Myron shouldn't be banned. Nobody should be getting banned. That's my viewpoint. Aiden shouldn't be banned, no. Like, and by the way, this is why I supported Twitter, like Elon Musk buying Twitter. Nobody on that list is banned on Twitter. I support Twitter. Frogan? I don't think Frogan should be banned. Like, in a perfect world, based off of the TOS, she should be, yeah. But if I were to write the TOS, I would write it to where Frogan wouldn't be banned. No, If she wants to be obnoxious and rude and call people racial slurs, fuck her. Just don't watch. Really, just stop watching it. Problem solved. I don't care about that. I don't want to tell people what they can and can't say. That's not my problem. Fuck that. Advocating for violence is different. Actually retarded take. I'm sorry, but I believe in freedom of speech. Yeah, I know, guys. It must be very upsetting. It's very upsetting. Did she push for violence? Well, then that's a separate conversation.
Which golden boy? And if you still have...
What about ads? I understand that the company wants to maintain this position because of advertising, but I do not like the idea that I'm having my morality dictated to me by a company who uses slave labor in third world countries to make bullshit. And they lock people inside of buildings overnight, and they have basically slaves making slaves in cobalt mines. I don't want to have my morality dictated to me by a company that utilizes slavery, and I don't respect their moral position at all. These companies would be promoting Hitler if Hitler won World War II. They don't have any ideology other than money.
Let this settle the matter. Just for clarity, Dan Clancy is the one filming and singing in this video.
Happy birthday to you.
What the fuck?
Happy birthday to you.
Bro, we're never beating the Hasan runs Twitch allegations after this.
Yeah, even he knows this is bad of them to do that. Because now it's going to make them look bad if Hasan says anything bad in the future. Yeah,
crazy.
It's funny, even Hasan knows it's bad.
Oh my God.
He knows it's bad.
Happy birthday, dear Hasan.
This is crazy.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm cooked.
Happy birthday from Twitch, Hasan. Happy birthday from Twitch.
Yeah.
I've been looking around and I genuinely have never seen another video like this anywhere, where Dan Clancy or any top executive forced all these poor sons of bitches during their lunch break to gather around in the crew room and sing happy birthday for Hasan Piker. How humiliating is that? There's also a small issue of Dan being a total creep.
Want to explore clips?
That's very nice.
And now you have a clips feed. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Suppose you want to check out the stories to
Nice.
see what you missed yesterday. You click there, and now you're in your stories feed. Okay.
My man.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's also...
Okay. Yeah.
Okay? Okay. Suppose you want to check out the stories to see what you missed yesterday. You click there.
I mean, you guys know I am the last person who will ever criticize this. I am not going to try to grandstand about this and act like, oh, it's so problematic that Dan did this. I do not give a fuck. Sorry.
And now you're in your stories.
You're only 40? Shut up!
Okay?
Okay. That's very nice.
Yeah.
That's also...
That's very nice.
Okay.
What were you doing with your pants?
You know, Dan, I would have let this creep narrative go. If it didn't happen twice, roll it.
You want to see clips? Swipe this way and now you're seeing clips. The clips are, and that's not necessarily the algorithm.
First of all, it's gross enough you're a creep, but what an incompetent idiot you are. You're the.
I don't think it's gross to just look at girls. I don't think it's weird. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just like, I mean, what the fuck you want me to say? I don't think it's weird. There's nothing wrong with it. Is it? He's a guy. He's attracted to women. Like, what are we talking about?
CEO of Twitch, and you get caught with the fucking.
He's like 70. Yeah, I know. When I'm 70, I'm gonna do the same thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll say it right now. Bro, what? Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, there's, yeah, I mean, like, these are adult women, right?
You get caught with the girlies on your homepage twice?
Yeah.
Bro, come on, dude. You got wife, man.
Might be out by then.
Daughter.
Hey!
We don't need to know about this. Don't want that in my head, bro. It's also a little bit disturbing considering, you know, he's these people's bosses. Okay? All right, so he's incompetent. He's a creep. He's protecting terrorist propagandists. So what's up? So what's the big deal with Dan Clancy? Well, what happened next is what really made me realize how corrupted and rotten Twitch is to the very core of the organization. First, let me introduce you to Frogan.
Why don't you go to
Here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Why can they defend racism and not violence if you defend freedom of speech? Why can they defend? I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, here we go. There's Frogan. Which, by the way, I found this to be kind of odd. I met Frogan IRL, and I talked with her. She was very nice. It's always weird to talk to people that have, like, these personalities online. I'm sure, yeah, she's very nice. I got along with her. Everything was fine. And then some crazy shit like this happens fake? I guess, yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying.
trip to Home Depot and buy some rope?
She's one of Hasan's main moderators. She's leading great discourse like...
Arabs are so scary. He's so Islamophobic, actually racist. Never again.
Ethan's Islamophobic for saying, don't kill civilians.
Yeah. She has zero talent. She has 100 concurrent viewers, but somehow she's always on the homepage. She's winning awards. Nobody's watching her. Nobody cares. Why is she relevant? We don't know.
I think that obviously, it's very obvious to me. Like, they're trying to put her up there because she's like an ethnic minority. I mean, sure, of course that's what's going to happen.
Important for me to show you.
I mean, they've literally even said that, right? I mean, they've said that. That's why I put her at TwitchCon.
An actual horrible person Frogan is, so that you can see who Twitch is elevating. So let's start with this clip. Ludwig, a large streamer on Twitch, donated $10,000 to the Palestinian...
Bro, imagining donating $10,000 to somebody's cause, and then they call you a fucking cracker. Are you kidding me?
Children's
This is crazy.
That's a wonderful thing to do, right?
Listen to this. This is nuts.
Not good enough for Frogan.
I find ultimately, like, if I were to do a charity thing where the charity thing relies on your donations, it should be something where, like, 95% of people feel good and are down for it. And, like, ultimately, regardless of what you think, that is not the situation here. So I personally donated $10K. Because I think it is worthwhile.
I love watching Ludwig try to navigate these different social situations because it's so fucking obvious that he literally just wants to make money and make content and not have anything to do with any politics or anything like that. But then all of his friends constantly get him into situations that are political. Like, he legitimately, I think he does care, but I think that he realizes that doing it is something that is bad for his brand, and so he doesn't want to do that for business reasons. And I find it funny to watch it happen because you can tell he's so stressed out. He's like, I have to fucking say something and have an opinion on this, and he does not want to have an opinion on this. He doesn't want to deal with it at all. He's so stressed. It is. He's a pussy? No, he doesn't. He just simply doesn't. Listen, Just because somebody doesn't want to be a martyr for your cause doesn't make them a pussy, okay? It doesn't make them a cracker either, Frogan.
And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate. But I won't throw it on you, you know what I mean? No thanks. And some people are going to say that, you know what I mean? That's why it's the difference.
This is a cracker take.
Difference between like, hey, I can put my money where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a fucking debate.
This is my favorite part coming up.
About whether that's worthwhile.
Take.
Not this.
I know Arabs are dying, but you know, I'm not gonna tell you to donate.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Me, I donated $10,000, but I'm not gonna promote it.
Here it comes.
Just don't say you donated $10,000 then. Look, if you're not actively believing, if you don't believe in the cause, and if you're not against genocide at this point, like, keep your fucking money. Keep your $10,000.
She's turning away the $10,000 on behalf of the Palestinians that are like getting bombed. She's like, no, they don't need your $10,000. That was the cracker part is like, okay, yeah, it's just stupid, right? But like, you're turning down their money? How do you do that?
$1,000. Keep your little chump change. Like, what do you want? Do you want me to say like congratulations?
Imagine being Frogan, a leftist living in LA in comfort, begging for her rent money on stream, and telling displaced and famished Palestinian children, no kids, you need to give that $10,000 back. Ludwig didn't pass my purity
He didn't mean it.
test.
Keep your fucking money.
But
Oh my
wait,
God.
there's more.
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers.
Uh-huh.
Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. Oh my God, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
This clip obviously made the rounds on social media and rightfully outraged a lot of people. Here's how she responded the next day.
I hope you get PTSD.
Based?
And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
Was this?
And they posted it in my head. I'm like, base?
Man.
Based? Like, am I supposed to be like, I'm not walking back on it. I still fucking agree with it. Base?
The smug defiance Frogan is showing is only because she knows that Twitch will do nothing to moderate her. Despite
No, they won't. They will do nothing.
Veterans being classified as a protected group in Twitch's own community guidelines. But wait, there's more.
Okay. 6250. 9/11 baking stream with Raf and Capri. If we get to this goal by 9/11, Capri, Raf, and I will make the Twin Towers out of a stacked cake. And we'll make an airplane. And we'll recreate 9/11.
To be fair, this is again something that I am not even going to pretend to moralize about this. You know, the Ash Ketchum catching the illegal aliens with Tom Homan. I've had a number of jokes that I think are a lot worse than this one. I'm not even going to begin to try to talk about how bad this is, okay? We're not going to pretend.
This tweet was the final straw for me. You'll notice the date is October 7th, 2020.
Yeah, this one was really bad. But yours are funny. I think they're funny too. I do. I think that I'm funny. My terrorism, like dark humor jokes, are way better than hers. Look. If she wants some better terrorist jokes, she can just hit me up. I'll come up with some good ones. Okay.
2003, the morning of the massacre, at 5:30 a.m. Pacific
5
time.
in the
At
morning.
this moment, Hamas
Wow.
militants had infiltrated a music festival and several kibbutzim, where they began their wanton slaying of civilians. Here's what she tweeted. Leftists preach and foam at the mouth at the thought of a revolution happening in America. But as soon as it happens in the Middle East, what they're doing is wrong. It's not what she said. It's when she said it.
Well, she's obviously referring to what happened on October 7th. It's not like this is random, right? I mean, she obviously meant that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot harder to get people to agree with you whenever you're killing and raping civilians. Like it is. It's like you're like, this is our message. We kill and rape civilians. Okay, well, that doesn't really get as many people, right? Yeah, it's just a bad message. A lot of people don't like that.
On Twitter celebrating, I was listening to the local news in Israel. Families were calling into news stations begging for help. Let me show you what I mean.
Oh no, no, he's killing us. Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, it's awful over there.
אני יוצא לכיוון שלכם עכשיו, צריכים מיקום, צריכים מיקום, צריכים מיקום. צריכים מיקום. אני בא, מאמי, צריכים מיקום, אלוהים.
The morning of October 7th, Israelis were listening to calls like this all morning long. Dozens of them. Imagine reading this tweet after listening to this. This woman should have moved on years ago to another profession. But for some reason, Twitch is obsessed with keeping her on life support. And
to be fair, both of these events were not Twitch events, and they were run by, ironically, Cutie Cinderella, who's Ludwig's girlfriend.
instead of moderating her, they actually gave her an award, Together for Legendary Woman, in which she would get front page placement.
Twitch gave her that? Wait, I didn't even know about this one. Oh, fuck, never mind. Legendary Woman.
All year long.
This is actually my favorite detail about Frogan. She won a Rising Star Award at the Streamer Awards, an award show put on by her friends. And then the next year, guys, she gets nominated for Rising Star again. Are they fucking with her? You can't be Rising Star twice. It's up or it's down, man. In fact, you were never up. That was the problem. They tried to pretend like you were up, but you were always down. Rising Star twice.
He's right.
What's his fucking...
I remember, not Ludwig, fucking Miz joked about this, and she got so upset.
Mario Kart? You hit a boost up there or some shit?
The picture is fake of the second one? Yes, that's correct. The picture that was used in the second image is in fact fake, but it is true that she was nominated and won Rising Star 2 years in a row. I think that maybe she didn't win both years, but she at least got nominated 2 years in a row. Yeah. But it's the wrong image, but the right argument. She won one, lost one. Well, that would make sense, right?
Because Frogan is the two-time Rising Star champ, and because of her massive viewership of 100 concurrent viewers, it only makes sense that Twitch would give her one of the main stages at TwitchCon to do a 45-minute long segment. Her idea that was Twitch approved, an Arab to Jew racial tier list.
Oh, God. Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy it was even a thing? Yeah, I don't know.
So the premise is who can say Habibi, an Arabic word of affection like baby or sweetheart.
Yeah.
This tier list determines who can say it. Top and most desirable tier is Arab. And at the bottom, the worst one is, quote, loves Sabra. Now, why does Love Sabra equate to Jews? Sabra is a well-known Israeli company that makes hummus. They've been on the divestment list for many, many years, so the activists are well aware of their status. Oh yeah, and Sabra literally means a Jew that was born in Israel.
It also plays up.
A Jewish person born in Israel? Huh. How about that? Yeah.
It also plays up an anti-Semitic trope that denies Jewish identity in the Middle East. There's this idea that Israelis are all white colonizers who are stealing the culture and identity of Arabs to make it seem like they belong there. Watch Frogan and her co-hosts accuse Israelis of culturally appropriating Arab culture.
The one thing that's like funny is that there's two types of like genocide, right? There's like genocide of real people, and then there's like cultural genocide, right? Like this is fucking funny. Like those motherfuckers trying to take hummus and say it's Israeli is the most insane thing to me.
Dude, the fact that they have the audacity to create Sabra and make that like the staple hummus of America, insane.
It's super offensive to us. And like that's actual like cultural appropriation. Like people get mad when someone has like dreadlocks and they call that culture. I'm like, come on, it's just like a hairdo. Like it's okay. People like white people are allowed to have dreadlocks if they want dreadlocks. But like actually trying to claim our food, our desserts.
Just one question for you guys.
Who the fuck do you think is making the hummus in Israel? Martha Stewart? No, it's the same fucking Arabic speaking.
Yeah, my understanding is that Jews and Arabs were all in the they all came from the same fucking place, basically. Like that's my understanding. Now I could be wrong about that. I mean, I don't think it's entirely true every time, right? And like obviously as time has gone on, things have changed. But like, I mean, I don't know, is this like a forbidden fact or something? Like, I thought this was just established. I thought people just knew this.
Jews that you kicked out in the 1950s.
Yeah,
yes, they also like hummus. And they like all the same shit you do. Because they are you. They're from your country. You kicked them all out, and now you're accusing them of stealing your culture. You want to talk about cultural genocide? Well, here it is. You racist piece of shit.
Those motherfuckers trying to take hummus and say it's Israeli is the most insane thing to me.
Hey, scumbag, here's a hummus place we used to eat at. The chef is from Yemen. Here's another dude from Syria. Does this dude look like a white colonizer to you? Would you like to tell him he's stealing?
See, this is one thing that I think is also probably true. Like, I really don't know about this, but I think that in places where there are both like Arabs and Jewish people, I think that probably in a lot of cases they just generally get along. Am I wrong about that? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they probably do, right? Exactly. And so I feel like this is another issue, is that you have people that are like super ideologically motivated that end up radicalizing groups of normal people that end up making everything in the world a worse place. I think that's it. It's a bit more nuanced than that, but yeah. Oh, I'm sure there's friction. Of course there's friction. But like in general, I think people generally can get along, right? In a lot of cases, even if they're very different. I think that, you know, in the US, that's definitely true. And so I think that normal people are getting radicalized by this. And when you actually probably see a lot of these places, it's everybody getting along and there are no problems. Religion's part of the delusion. Yeah, no, for sure. There's also a religion thing. Yeah, no doubt.
Culture. Well, this is what most Israelis look like.
Dude, the fact that they have the audacity to create Sabra.
This is casual bigotry being passed around like a leftist talking point. It's exactly why people are saying that anti-Semitism is coming mostly from the left. And yes, I know this dipshit is also Jewish. Incredible. He picked up so many tokens, he actually became one. And by the way, everybody on this panel is looking pretty fucking white themselves. So bearing all of this
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, like, yeah. I mean, look at my skin, look at their skin. It's pretty close, right? I mean, let's be honest. It's pretty close.
Incredible. He picked up so many tokens, he actually became one. And by the way, everybody on this panel is looking pretty fucking...
This guy too. I mean, like, I mean, I don't know what you want me... And I'm a pale guy, right? I'm a really pale guy. It's just interesting.
And white themselves. So bearing all of this in mind, it's really not a stretch to say that the Love Sabra bracket is a dog whistle for Israelis or Jews.
The next person is one of my favorite people, Ethan Klein.
Ooh,
I told you guys to clap.
Ooh, uh-oh.
This is a good reaction.
That was a good one. That's good. All right. Turn that up. Turn giraffes.
We all know where this is going.
You guys are missing a category for Zionist. That was a joke. That was just a joke in my...
Stanums. Well, obviously it's Love Sabra, right?
Yeah, it
has to be. That's easy. That's
definitely Love Sabra.
She apparently consulted.
Put him in the bad Jew category. Oh, put him in the bad Jew category, quick. Oh, God. Bro, Twitch must be so fucking mad about this. Oh, my God.
With the head of the KKK, and he told her more subtle. So if it wasn't obvious enough, they pull me, one of the best-known Jewish creators, and immediately put me in Sabra. Hasan, by the way, who's Turkish, not Arab, is Arab. That's the good one. That's the good one. The Arab ethnicity is S tier. Then Denham's jokes that we don't have a category low enough for Zionists. Once again, calling out my Jewish identity.
Dude, where's the? You guys are missing a category for Zionist.
And if it isn't about being Jewish,
why would they put Ben Shapiro in the thumbnail?
One of the other most
Come on. Come on, you guys. Come on. You had to do it to him?
prominent Jews on YouTube.
Man.
And the category next to me, when he's not even featured in the game. Who's next down there? Anne Frank? Einstein? Seth Rogen? Schindler? Well, he wasn't Jewish, but they would put him down there, let's be real.
It also doesn't help their case that both my wife and Ben Shapiro's wife were born in Israel, which would make them Sabras. So love Sabra, literally in this case, means Jew lover. That sounds pretty racist. And what about the title? How Arab are these Twitch streamers? Hold on a minute. I thought this was about hummus. You know, I'm tired of these people gaslighting me. Haven't the Jews been gassed enough? So you
He went there. Wow, Ethan, I'm so glad. The thing is that I'm so glad that people are not tone policing themselves over this stuff. This is fucking hilarious to me. I think it's so funny. I am so over the era of these fat, annoying, busybody Karens telling you what's funny and what's not. That was funny.
You're telling me you understand what a microaggression is, but you can't understand why a Jewish man might be uncomfortable with this. I feel like this is indefensible, blatant, obvious anti-Semitism, and this was greenlit by Twitch to appear on their main stage.
I don't think
How
they
is
really
that
understood
even
it.
possible? Right in front of their sponsors, too. Chevron, Capcom, and Samsung.
Capcom.
This racial tier list was brought to you by our sponsors, Chevron, Capcom, and Samsung. This is an example of Twitch management elevating a racist nobody like Frogan at the detriment of their own company's well-being. Why?
After the predictable controversy this caused, Dan Clancy, the CEO, went live for the first time after 2 weeks and did an FAQ.
It's exciting to be here. Mary, thanks for having me. It's always a joy to do this with you. And we have a lot to talk about. And, looking forward to questions.
Let's take a look at some of the questions they got. This person asked, do you plan
addressing the anti-Semitism problem? And he got banned for that. Yeah, I could see that.
on addressing the anti-Semitism problem? Dan's response? Permanent ban.
Yeah.
Why do you not ban streamers that show terrorist propaganda on your website? Good question. Permanent ban.
Got him, bitch.
And do you care to comment about the ADL and anti-Semitism on Twitch? Ban.
Why the fuck is the CEO banning people for asking reasonable questions about a relevant controversy they've been in? What the fuck is this? These are not even written like in a mean way. You are banned, just like the entire country of Israel. It had just been discussed.
Oh my God. Should have seen Denims cover this. I'm sure she... Let me guess. She was upset. Is that accurate? She was? Yeah. I could have assumed that.
Discovered around the same time as this Arab tier list that Twitch had secretly, without announcing it anywhere, banned the entire country of Israel from creating new accounts. This was enacted right after October 7th.
Yeah, it was.
And it continued on for a year. And if you're wondering how you didn't hear about it before, it's not because the Israelis weren't talking. Here's the top Israeli streamer's video about it.
Which is entitled, Twitch does not want Jews on their platform. He explains that they slowly started to realize no accounts could be made, and him and his fellow Israeli streamers were causing a lot of noise to get noticed. But Twitch completely ignored them for 5 months. When he created a support ticket with Twitch...
The ban on Israel was a miss. Was Palestine included there? I think that... So the defense that Twitch ran for this was they said that they were doing it in order to prevent people from talking about terror content and like violent content. But I don't think that that was really true because they didn't ban IP addresses from Ukraine. And they haven't banned IP addresses from other countries that were embroiled in conflict either. So I think that if this was a policy to ban IP addresses based off of the current country's like conflict situation, then it would have applied to other places besides Israel. So you could logically assume that that's not the reason, because if it was, it would have been applied to other situations.
Straight up deleted with zero explanation. Around the end of the year, when people started talking about anti-Semitism on Twitch, Dan Saltman discovered the Israel ban when he was sent the code proving the block happened, presumably from someone who works at Twitch, and it could no longer be ignored.
Yeah, I talked to Dan kind of recently, actually. We'll see what happens in the future. I don't think this whole saga is over.
Israeli and American media started to pick up the story, which finally forced Twitch to respond. He also explains the block started on October 13th, which happens to be Global Jihad Day, when Islamic terrorists call on others globally to act, which he thinks is an odd coincidence. They were never...
It's probably an odd coincidence, but it's definitely... There sure are a lot of coincidences, huh? There's a lot of coincidences. Wow. Think about how many coincidences there are. Almost enough points to make a line? Yeah.
Notified in any way, and it greatly affected their business. He says he doesn't feel safe with Dan Clancy in power, as he feels he can no longer trust him.
When Israelis try to sign up, it gives you a generic error message. It doesn't say anything.
I think Dan, listen, Dan knows this. Dan can reach out to me whenever he wants, if he wants to get some insight from a person who I hope that he knows that I'm unbiased. I think that Twitch has a huge problem, and I think that it is right underneath the surface. And I think that if the problem goes the way I think it will go, it could negatively affect his career in a very big way. And I think that's what will happen. I think it already has, to be honest. Now, I've defended Dan a lot. And I still continue to defend Dan because I do not think he is a bad actor. I think that he is just being irresponsible. But if he wants to reach out to me, and I have no problem working with other people that are, across the aisle for this kind of stuff, I think that he should get people like me and Hasan. And we need to figure this out before this website gets shut the fuck down and advertisers all leave. Because it will happen. I guarantee you it will fucking happen. And Destiny, and Dan Saltman, right? Like, I mean, this is a legitimate problem. Like, and I don't see how people can't see this. I don't. I don't see how people, like, am I crazy for seeing this? It's so clear. Amazon will pull the plug. You defend Dan to your own detriment. The guy is corrupt. No, I don't think that's what's happening. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think that. I don't think Amazon will pull the cord. I think that they will probably replace the leadership. They will replace the leadership and then replace the... And this is why I think that even people like Hasan should come to the table with this. Is that if this happens, I think the type of content that both of us do will be on the chopping block. I think that's what will happen. Because if I was Amazon, that's what I would do. Because let's be honest, 99% of the problems on Twitch come from 5 people. I'm one of them, and he's one of them. Maybe 10. And so, yeah, I think we need to figure this out before this gets out of control. I don't want to have to play, like, I've watched Hasan play Marvel Rivals. You guys don't want to watch that. You don't want to watch me play Marvel Rivals either. Like, they got to figure this shit out before things get real bad.
Just that you're ineligible because you're in Israel. So when one of these guys wrote to Twitch customer service, this is what they said. I am really sorry that you are having issues creating an account. We have reviewed your case thoroughly and can confirm that, unfortunately, you are not eligible to create a Twitch account. As a result, we will be closing your case at this time.
Under the new increased scrutiny, Dan Clancy panicked and posted 2 terrible explanations on Twitter that were immediately community noted. How can Twitch say on one hand that they've reviewed the case thoroughly, and then on the other hand say it was an accident and they didn't know? This is all very fishy.
A big media company like Twitch doesn't realize that their new account signups from Israel has completely flatlined? You're telling me that you guys didn't notice that? That's impossible. Then, at the same time, it was announced that Sneeko, Fresh and Fit, and the little Houthi twink terrorists were all unbanned and they could stream again on Twitch. This is like the...
Which, by the way, I think is not the Houthi guy, because he's like literally advocating for genocide. That's not really... not so good, right? But otherwise, yeah.
Holy trinity of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, he's like literally
guys,
like a
we're
terrorist.
back on Twitch.
Right?
Welcome. I know we had gotten banned or whatever, or we got suspended, but I went ahead and appealed it, and we're back in the house, man. So for all the haters out there that were like, you know, oh yeah,
this didn't last, by the way.
Hey, be mad. Be mad, guys, because we are back in the house. They can't stop us.
They did stop an hour later. All 3 of the accounts were eventually rebanned. But the decision to unban those 3 creators at that exact time, and being 3 of the best-known anti-Semites on the internet, seems to clearly be trying to send a message.
And then it was discovered that Twitch's head of policy and community guidelines was previously fired from her job publicly by the British government. Why? She does not like the Jews.
That's right. They're
Uh-oh. Too many coincidences? No, guys. I'm sure all of these things are coincidences.
Her head of trust and safety was previously suspended from her job at Ofcom for being too anti-Zionist. And guess where her very next job was at? That's right, Twitch TV.
Apparently, she was posting pro-Hamas tweets only mere days after October 7th happened.
That's so interesting. It sounds just like someone else we know. It's almost like...
Didn't Dan make a video about that? I think he did, right? Yeah, I talked to him privately about this before he made the video, and I was kind of shocked. It was insane.
Supporting terrorists is institutional. Hell, it might even be a prerequisite. Take a look at this tweet from Twitch's senior manager of inclusive marketing, Bridget Chermating, on October 12th. People are posting screenshots of them donating to Israel relief funds. Shake my head, y'all are truly rooting for the oppressor. Read a damn book.
I mean, man, that's factually correct. Well, it's not really. So the reason why it's not is because a person living in Israel is not categorically an oppressor. And if you view every person who's living inside of a country as an oppressor, which means that they're effectively a military target, you're basically justifying a genocide, right? Because you would say that it's okay to kill all of them. So it's very easy to say that Israel as a country does bad things, and it's easy to say that the IDF is bad. It's easy to say that their foreign policy is bad, but it's very hard to justify saying that the relief funds that go to people that live in Israel who have been negatively affected, had their house blown up, or have had family members killed by terrorists, that these people are not victims. I think this is, I mean, how many of you guys are not retarded and you completely agree with this? Okay, everybody, basically. Yeah, everybody. Wow, what a surprise. Israelis aren't a monolith? Yeah, and I think that there are probably, I bet that there are a lot of Israelis who don't like what their government is doing. The same as there's probably a lot of Russians that don't like what their government is doing. I'm sure there's Ukrainians, Chinese people, Americans who don't like it either. Of course, right? And so to act like they're a monolith is, I think it's just, it's bad.
Book. This tweet was made only 5 days after the October 7th massacre. The donations she's criticizing would go to families like this.
Right, exactly.
If they were still alive. This entire family was murdered in cold blood by Hamas terrorists on October 7th. Bridget, who did these little girls oppress? How can you act so high and mighty for your cause and be so callous and inhuman for the innocents on the other side?
Wow, there's never been a case of a person who advocates for inclusion that actually turns out to be a psycho that is okay with killing people that they disagree with. Wow, has that ever happened before? Oh, wait, that hasn't happened for 3 hours. Actually, no, 4, because I've been watching this video for a while. Yeah, I feel like it's just like, yeah, pretty much every time.
This statement was made by the senior manager for inclusive marketing.
Yeah.
Is that some kind of joke? Is this what inclusion looks like at Twitch?
Inclusion is including everybody whenever you kill them.
Is it really crazy at this point, after all this, to say that Twitch has an anti-Semitism problem? I think it would be harder at this point to argue the opposite.
Oh, Bridget, one more thing. Sorry, I forgot.
What's the difference between a Boy Scout and a Jewish kid? I'm trying to think of what the racist... So it probably has to do with, like, circumcision, right? And something about, like, yeah, I can easily get, yeah. 2011, damn, the camps.
Tell me the answer to this riddle. What's the difference between a Boy Scout and
yeah, I don't know this racist joke. This is very advanced racism. I'm actually kind of embarrassed.
Jewish kid. I'm standing
No, it
by.
can't be the camps, the concentration camp. That's too easy.
Let us know. And yes, it's true. I should point out this tweet is from 2000.
So it's like, oh, the Boy Scouts get like medals for going to camps? But that wouldn't even make sense either. Because they gave the Jewish people things too. That's so stupid. It's not even a good joke. Oh, one comes home from camp.
This one,
I get
however,
it.
is from
Okay.
22. Sarah Silverman tweeted out, Kanye threatened the Jews yesterday on Twitter, and it's not even trending. Why do mostly only Jews speak up against Jewish hate? The silence is so loud. Bridget said, this was the energy I was around when I worked with 2 Jewish women in social impact, who are both senior to me. She's trying to make Sarah Silverman seem...
This is like in my opinion, I don't like either one of these people. This is an absolutely let them fight situation because this is like DEI Ouroboros. I love it. I absolutely fucking love it.
like some kind of Jewish Karen for caring about anti-Semitism. I wouldn't really care about any of this if she wasn't the head of fucking diversity at Twitch. What the fuck is happening here? This is insane.
So with people like her deciding what is and isn't okay on Twitch, there's no surprise that you end up with these extraordinarily uneven enforcements of the rules.
Take, for example, this clip of the streamer CatDany. He was permanently banned for what he said here.
That community is never worth engaging with. There's just no point in doing it. Like, it's too, the risk of me, like, ending up getting, like, permabanned and my life destroyed because of these, like, inbred fucking disgusting losers is, like, it's just not worth it. It's just totally not worth it.
And okay, you know, fair enough. If you're going to be consistent with the enforcement, then, you know.
He's going to show the clip of Hasan saying that they're inbred.
Let's have a friendly place, a safe environment. It's calling a minority group inbred, which results in a permanent
Because I remember
ban.
he said that. I remember what happened.
Okay. Okay, has anyone else done that?
The Jewish KKK brigades out there, just a bunch of fucking inbred hicks. Imagine the most inbred white supremacist guy you can imagine, okay? Every week there was another fucking psychopathic settler, inbred fucking douchebag. Oh, these inbred fucking douchebags in the background, dude. A nation entirely comprised of messianic, inbred, ultra-orthodox.
He's into that, huh?
Psychopaths that these inbred don't understand. Educated, inbred, fundamentalist hicks.
Calling us in the middle of campus, calling us inbred, that we have no culture. One of them grabbed my friend's Israeli flag in the middle of campus, carried it to a mob by the gate that were communicating with the angry mobs outside of campus.
Untrained, inbred asses shipped into southern Lebanon, telling us that we are all inbred and that we have no culture.
You want to see clips?
Inbred.
The clips are, and that's not necessarily the algorithm.
Hey.
Hasan, a non-Jewish person, is referring to Jews as inbred consistently throughout his career.
Inbred, ultra-Orthodox psychopaths.
Zero punishment. Hasan interviewing a Houthi pirate.
The Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Zero punishment. Hasan watching terrorist propaganda with zero critical commentary.
They do
What
they
is
do
this?
musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Zero punishment. Hasan threatening a sitting congressperson. This one actually blew my mind. When I saw he tweeted that, I said,
I think that was a pretty big mistake. I'm surprised he tweeted that too. I think that was a really bad one. I'm actually surprised he didn't get in trouble for this. Like no meme or whatever. Like this is a really bad one.
I said, he's done after this for sure. For sure he is.
For those that may not...
That was like on Twitter, right? I mean, like, should he get banned on Twitch for that? I mean, I don't know. But, like, I was surprised he didn't get banned on Twitch or Twitter or anything like that for saying that. Is that the gun that killed Shinzo Abe? Yeah, it is. It's the gun that was made to kill him.
Recognize this weapon. I'll explain. Shinzo Abe is a former Japanese prime minister. He served from 2012 to 2020. He was assassinated in July of 22 in a stunning fashion that left the Japanese public horrified. He was killed with a makeshift weapon that the shooter had built himself at home. So when Hasan saw this tweet that he didn't like, he posted the schematic.
Well, this is, I mean, it's obviously it's obviously an advocacy for violence. I don't see how anybody could interpret it in any other way. And if he thinks it's not, then I would dare him to tweet it at Donald Trump. See what happens. He would never do that. Because it's obvious that it was.
In what can only be presumed as an invitation to someone in his fan base to build this weapon and then assassinate this sitting congressperson who wrote a tweet he did not like. I genuinely do not know how he didn't land himself in prison for making terroristic threats.
Zero punishment.
Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods.
And this isn't just a Hasan problem. It underscores a disturbing trend among leftists on Twitch. The problem is, if you can believe it, these people are frequently making death threats and facing zero consequence. I know.
I said this before. Nobody wanted to listen.
It sounds far-fetched, but I assure you it's very real.
Listen, I'll up the number, okay? 30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear.
Bro, that Destiny guy needs to get Not gonna fucking lie.
It would just be so easy to it would solve all of our problems. Like, we would have socialism now.
See, and eventually something like this is going to happen. I'll tell you guys, right? Eventually somebody will say something, somebody will do something, and it will happen. And when it does, that is going to be a very bad time for Twitch. And if I was Amazon and that happened, I would sack the entire executive leadership team of Twitch if that happened. And so I think everybody at Twitch that's working there right now needs to be fucking terrified of this. I would say rebrand, yeah. Why wait for it to happen? Because Twitch isn't going to act on it because they are okay with it because they agree with these people's politics. The reason why these people are able to say this stuff and get away with it is because Twitch agrees with them. And the people that work at Twitch agree with them. That's why there's asymmetrical enforcement in the rules. It's that simple. I mean, really, I mean, how many points on a line do you need to come to that exact same conclusion?
Point. Right? We would have socialism at this point. If someone just went out of their way and it would be so easy.
Thing that happens, I mean, like, holy shit, guys. If you live in Florida, I have an opportunity for you. If you want to earn
it's also what I found to be very funny is, do you remember whenever this guy was making that comment about Jewish people recently? Central Committee? It's actually crazy that nobody actually caught on to what he was doing. And I read the conversation around it. When he turned his face to like indicate that it was like a early life Jewish person, he did that to accentuate the length of his nose. It was obvious that he was doing it for that reason. And people in chat were responding to it. And I guess nobody saw that? Nobody picked up on that at all? It was shocking to me. We have such amateur racists that they couldn't tell that? Who cares? I care that it's asymmetrical. I don't care about it fundamentally, but I care about it that it's being enforced in a way that's not consistent. That's why I care. That's like level 2 racism. Yeah, it's like not even super that high.
$100,000, let me know.
Actually, Mike from PA, the dude that's stuck in the before image of a transformation story, did receive a 3-day ban.
This man put a bounty on a
He
fellow
put a bounty on somebody's head, he got a 3-day suspension. Wow.
streamer's head. This man should not be getting a 3-day suspension. He should be getting a knock on his door from the FBI.
I agree.
I made this video for 2 reasons. First, to stop Hasan infiltrating mainstream media. Hasan has been welcomed by many mainstream outlets. They view him as a friendly social democrat, as someone who's just trying to spread progressive politics online to an important demographic. But we know that's not true. He is not their friend or their ally. If you ever see Hasan rubbing shoulders with anyone from mainstream media, let them know politely, with all the civility in the world, what kind of person he is when he thinks mainstream media isn't watching. Help them understand that his name should be associated with people like Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones, other fringe, radical, political commentators. Number 2, Twitch must be held accountable. Twitch has proven that it will not change by choice, and so it is our moral imperative to enact that change through any reasonable means that we can. Samsung, Chevron, and Capcom. Twitch has given them a lasting association with a racial tier list with Arabs at the top and Jews at the bottom. These brands have every right to know, and they should. We all recall YouTube's adpocalypse. Yep. It happened when ads were running over ISIS recruitment videos, and it caused a brand exodus. The same thing has happened.
Well, now they're Hamas recruitment videos. This is totally different. ISIS was totally different situation.
Happening now on Twitch. Yeah. But instead of ISIS, it's the Houthis, Hamas, and Hezbollah.
Okay.
Dan Clancy's refusal to moderate extremists is the only reason for any of this. He is the sole person to blame. He had so many opportunities to stop this.
Didn't Peloton recently stop promoting some MMA guy for saying things that were anti-Semitic too? This happened a couple of days ago.
The sole person to blame.
Yeah, Bryce Mitchell.
He had so many opportunities to stop this. Ultimately, after dedicating months of my life to creating this video, I am left with one overwhelming conclusion. Fuck this dude.
That's it. I think that a lot of, and I feel like really that what a video. Holy shit, what a video. I'll link you guys the video. I think that one of the biggest points that I would make about this is that I think that this is especially true for like Hasan and Frogan, is that I think that their amount of like kind of like the amount of like kind of defense that they run for like what I would consider to be like indefensible bad behavior has actually alienated more people than it's attracted. And I think that the end result of that is that it has caused their cause to lose ground. And it's like, as somebody who like I do sympathize with a lot of the people that are in Palestine, in a way I feel bad for them when they have some pampered LA girl who's trying to refuse aid on their behalf because it doesn't pass her purity test. I do. I think that's very obnoxious. And I think that type of thing is harmful for everyone. It doesn't help. Like, the only people it really helps is people who don't even support them, which I found to be the most ironic and ridiculous thing. And Not even Hamas wants to deal with them? Oh, I don't know about that. Their main goal is not to attract more viewers, but to push their agenda. Yeah, but you can't push your agenda without more viewers. And when you, if you attract more viewers, I think it won't work, because I think that there's a level of extremism that becomes alienating to people. And I think that they are going into that element of extremism. Like, for example, I feel like in some of the cases, like, I know a lot of you guys would be mad because I would defend certain, like, small snippets of, like, Hasan. Oh, well, like, the 9/11 thing, I was like, okay, well, this is, like, what he means is American imperialism. I get kind of what his point is. And, like, I try not to take people out of context as much as I can, right? But at the same time, there are just a lot of these examples, and especially with interviewing that Houthi guy, that was definitely a pretty big mistake. And I like that you're fair. No, I do. I try to be fair about everything, and like, that's it. But then you bundle it all together. Yeah, no doubt, right? And so it's a fucking line at this point. Yeah, no, I know that, but I'll just talk about each individual thing itself. But I think that it's fair to say that also. So, come on, is defending rape and murder of children? Well, that's the thing, right? Is that I think that not immediately condemning that stuff and running defense for it and saying that, you know, terrorist organizations are, like, not problematic or not bad, and then showing these people that are, like, invading ships with, like, machine guns on, like, unarmed ships, like, this kind of stuff is just simply not appealing to an average audience, and I think that it's alienating to an average audience. And so I think that the end result of this is that people will be more alienated from these causes. I think that they will be more opposed to any sort of leftist rhetoric. And I think that this is something where people throw the baby out with the bathwater, where now it's kind of like what happened with, like, the, like, trans kids and, like, trans athletes. And, like, now they're thinking about taking back gay marriage. Like, we're already, like, we're going in reverse, and we're going fast, right? And I think that that's what's going to end up happening. There's going to be a countercorrection. There's going to be a countercorrection for this that I think will be harmful to the people that they at least try to be advocates for. And I find that to be very worrisome. I do. And I'll read some comments. Obviously, don't make excuses. I don't know. I think this is I think that's a very accurate analysis. I mean, personally, I think it is. Do the content nuke for Destiny, or people will call you a Destiny stan? I will watch a content piece that's negative about Destiny, but I will not cover, and this is, I know that H3H3 has, I obviously, like, I read clips, I read LSF and stuff like that. I saw that H3H3 insinuated that Hasan did something that was like some sort of, like, sexual thing. I will not cover any of those topics. I will not cover those topics because they are unsubstantiated rumors and they are crimes and they should be treated like crimes. So if the next video is about Hasan doing anything that is sexual that is not proven in court, I have no business watching it and I have no interest in watching it. I have the same viewpoint for Destiny. If people want to criticize Destiny for being a cuck or for saying things that are wrong or for losing a debate, that's totally fine. I have no issue with watching that. But I will not cover allegations that are accusations of a crime. I think that these things need to be dealt with in a court of law, and I am not a court of law. I'm not the Punisher. That's it. So I'm not going to watch that. And so, yeah, there's no smoke without fire, dude. Okay. Well, then find me the fire. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that. I'm saying then go find the fire. Then go to court. Do you think that a lot of the tribalism in the U.S. can be handled by solved by having similar parties somewhere in the parliamentary system? I think that there's always going to be problems and what do you call it? And division lines, of course, for sure. Tsunami is trending on X right now. Oh yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look and see. A smoke machine. Yeah, I mean, actually, yeah, there are examples where there's smoke and there's not fire. Why cover something that could ruin a person's life when it's not proven to be true? Yeah, and like that's why I didn't watch this video for a while, by the way. The reason why I didn't watch the video for quite a while is precisely for that reason. It's because I was concerned that I know that there are accusations against Hasan. Now, my personal opinion is that I don't think that these accusations have a ton of weight behind them, but at the same time, I know that there are these accusations out against him, and that's why I refrained from watching the video, because I didn't want to platform that. And so, yeah, that's really about it. Hasan wants to debate as a reply, though? Yeah, no, and if Hasan and Ethan want to debate, if they want a moderator, I'll do it. Yeah, I want a moderator, I'll do it. Sure. Fine with me. That'd be incredible. No, please. Oh, you think I would ever refuse content? Hasan would never? Well, he was the one that initiated it. Hasan wanted to debate Ethan himself. Yeah, that's so I don't know what you mean by that. And Hasan refuses to watch the video. Yeah, it makes sense why he wouldn't want to platform a video that's negative about him. I think that you shouldn't expect him to. Hasan only wants to debate in bad faith. Let's be real. Well, look, I'm not trying to get into that, right? All I'm saying is that if they want to do a debate and they want to have somebody who, like, I've been friendly towards Ethan, I've been friendly towards Hasan really for years now. And so, if they want somebody, like, I feel like I've got to be probably the closest thing to an unbiased person if they want to moderate it that they could find. So, and if not, they just want to do it themselves, that's fine. I'll react to it, right? So I'll be getting a YouTube video about this either way. So, but yeah, no, if they want me to get involved, that's fine too. But, yeah, sure. And, it's even better. Yeah, no doubt. It's cringe how much you're defending Hasan. I don't think that I've really defended anything. I will defend actions, and I will defend things and ideas. I don't like to defend people. Like in general, I try not to do that. And so, like, it's cringe how much you're defending Ethan. Well, if I'm getting both sides mad at me, that means that I'm probably doing a good job. And so, yeah, that's really about it. You've been more charitable to Hasan than he's been to you? Yes, but if I treat somebody the way that they treat me, does that mean that I'm being fair, or I'm just simply retaliating? I don't need to worry about Hasan would not do the same for you. It's not important to me whether other people would do the same thing to me. I think that my position as a person on the internet, I take pride in trying to be objective and fair. I do. And this is a point of personal pride, because I don't like how biased everybody is. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm never biased, and I do have viewpoints that I push, but I try to push those viewpoints in the context of criticism. And so, yeah, I'd rather see you crash out on these people that trash you. I know that. That would be better content. No, I'm fully aware that it would be much better content for me to crash out on them and get mad at them, and that would be more entertaining. It would get more viewers. But I think it's also a short-term amount of success, and I think that in the long term, I would not gain from that, and it would not be in my best interest. Because I think that people would learn to not respect my viewpoints, and I think that, like, over the years, I've tried to be as fair as I can be, and be as measured and accurate as I can be, because that's something that people are looking. I think that there is a huge contingency of people that is not radicalized, that even if they hear a person who they disagree with, they end up not caring. That they're fine with that, because at least they're hearing something that's authentic. And that's something that I want to do. And saying that chat wants you to stoop down to that level. Yeah. You're not really living up to that goal by calling Hasan has done mistakes when he himself stands by it. So you're saying that it's a mistake because a mistake implies that it wasn't intentional. Okay, well, it was a bad idea. The word, the vocabulary to me doesn't matter. Bad idea, it was stupid, a mistake, it was unfortunate. You can use whatever vocabulary you want. It still means the same thing. Now, I'm not trying to play semantics games with this. a blunder, an oopsie. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but this is really a nuke. Nothing seemed crazy until I saw bits over the last few hours. Yeah, some of the stuff was pretty bad, for sure. It was. Going soft on someone because you know them, then what should be said condemn at the highest level isn't stopping, stooping down, I don't know. Well, I try not to do that. I do. I find your understanding of Israel and Palestine very surface level, but I have no doubt that these are conclusions you've come to in good faith. That's why I come here. Yeah, I think that my opinions on Israel and Palestine are surface level. I think that somebody like Hasan, to be honest, knows a lot more about it than I do. So does CatDany. So do a lot of people that are more educated on the topic. And that's why I don't really like talking about it a lot. That's why at the beginning of the video, I kind of just let it play. Because, like, I don't really know a lot about this. I think that it's easy to condemn, you know, like, terrorism and violence. But, like, to contextualize a 70-year war inside of, like, a religious struggle and inside of, like, all these other things, I don't really know a lot about that. And I don't really care a whole lot, honestly. And not in, like, a bad way. It's that I'm mainly focused on American politics and American culture and Western culture. And what happens over there is their business, and, you know, I don't want to tell them what they can do, right? I don't want to play nation building over there either. I don't support the U.S. trying to fuck with them at all, you know. But that's how I see it. You know, just play games for politics. Politics don't matter. Only games and waifus matter. Yeah, but then they took away the waifus and they changed the games, and that's why I'm here. Looking at dislike ratio. Yeah, I mean I mean Hasan has a lot of fans, and I can see why people would disagree with it. There's also the people that don't like Ethan because Ethan's made bad jokes before in the past, and he's said bad things. So sure, I could easily see why there's going to be a lot of dislikes for it. I mean, absolutely. And Ethan's burned a lot of credibility over the years by just doing different things that people disagree with too. Yeah, definitely. Mass dislike by terrorists and just anti-Semites. Yeah, I think there's definitely that. There's been a huge uptick in anti-Semitism. As I said, Adolf is making a big comeback. Said it many times. They're also deleting any negative comments. Yeah, most people do that. But yeah, let's see here. I'll read a few more. Trump's Jazza comment was to get Israel and Egypt and Jordan to come to the table. Yeah, I mean, I don't... Like, I don't know, like, I mean, so this is the thing, right? With, like, the Trump thing with like, Palestine. I just don't know enough about it because, like, I hear that they want to rebuild Palestine, and I'm thinking, like, okay, this sounds like kind of a good thing, but then people are saying it's a bad thing, and that's confusing to me. So that's why I didn't really talk about it a lot. Because I don't understand this. Same, like, yeah, because it's like, it seems like it would make sense that you would want to rebuild Gaza, and in order to do that, you'd have to relocate the people to rebuild it. But people view it as, like, ethnic cleansing. I don't understand that. It's very complicated, yeah, and that's why I haven't really shared a lot of viewpoints on it, is because maybe there's something I'm not getting, but I don't see this as, like, a terrible thing, but it's out of my expertise, so, like, I really just don't know. And there's a lot of context to it that I don't understand. I'd rather talk about things that I at least believe that I understand. I don't even believe I understand that one. So, yeah, there you go. And, if I gave them the right to rebuild, it's not their land. Well, I think that was the idea, was to, like, get the people in that area to agree on some sort of resolution. Like, I don't think that the U.S. wanted to ever be the one that rebuilt it themselves. I think that they simply wanted to be the conduit for getting it rebuilt. That's the way, at least, it sounded like to me. The assumption, historically, if you move large amounts of people, you usually get large amounts of deaths during and after the transition. I think that's a really good point. Yeah, I think you're right about that. And, I just don't know. Right? I mean, I don't know. The issue is no one actually wants them to go back after it's rebuilt. Yeah, again, I don't want to talk about this because I just don't really, like, it's kind of, I'm sure it's, like, probably, you know, bad metaphor here. It's kind of a minefield, right? And so, like, I just don't really know a lot about it. And so, like, I don't want to say the wrong thing or, you know, like, push misinformation. So, yeah, I'd have to look and see more about it myself. But anyway, yeah. Let's see. But yeah, the video, I think, again, I just hope that a lot of the people that are advocates of the, you know, like the same stuff that Hasan pushes and Hasan realizes, I think that they're I think they're really damaging their own cause, and I think that they're, in a lot of cases, with some of these comments, causing more harm than good. And I hope that like videos like this, you know, can be seen as constructive criticism. And, you know, and not all of this was constructive, but I hope that people can, you know, distill out of it a degree of constructive criticism. So, yeah. And I know a lot of people have wanted to want me to watch the video. So, yeah, I'll watch the video. And there it is. The video is watched. Promises made, promises kept, right? Every once in a while it happens. So, yeah, I'll read a few more comments. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, sure. Do you think Hasan should be banned? I don't want Hasan to be retroactively banned for comments he made last year. No. I don't like the precedent that sets, and I don't want to have that happen to me. Because I think that there could be comments that I made maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago that you could go back and get me banned for. So it's self-preservation, okay? I don't want people going back through all of my VODs. I don't want people going back through all of his VODs. I think that from now on, like, let's just not do that, right? That's the reasonable perspective. Should Twitch update its TOS? I think they should if they intend to enforce it the way that they have. Did you wait to watch it on Saturday to maximize viewers? No. If I was going to do that, I wouldn't have done it at the same time that OnlyFans was doing a raid. And also, like, I at the end of the day, like, I mean, the people that are going to watch this is, like, a fraction of the people that are going to end up watching it on YouTube, right? Like, really, YouTube is where, like, all the clips from this are going to come from. Like, this probably will collectively get millions of views, but it won't get those millions of views from Twitch. Twitch, I really just use as a platform to record videos. That's about it. Do you think he didn't know saying such horseshit is wrong? I don't know. I think it's probably a mix of both, right? It's probably all of them. Do you think Dan needs to step down in order for change to occur within the company? I think that Dan needs to acknowledge that there's a problem, and I think that he needs to look at the problem from a perspective that's outside of his own. And I'd be more than willing to talk to Dan about this problem himself. I like Dan. I think that Dan can make Twitch great again. But I think that in order to do that, you have to realize what the problems are. And it's one of the reasons why I actually haven't gone super nuclear on Twitch. It's to preserve that relationship and to not burn that bridge. Because I hope that Dan can realize that I am an ally and not an adversary, and that I want to help make the website better. And I think that's in both of our interests. And that's why I haven't gone super nuclear. It's just simply not in my best interest in the long run to do that. I generally only act in my best interest, and I only do things that are beneficial to me. Now, they might not immediately be beneficial for me, but I think that in the long run, I believe them to be. Yeah, if Dan doesn't know, Dan's a fool. I think that Dan is probably in a very bad position. I think that the reason why Dan is in this position is because he's in a company that's ideologically captured. He knows that it's a problem, but he doesn't know how to approach the problem in a way that won't cause a bunch of friction for him. And I think he might need help from Amazon themselves. And so, like, he's stuck. Yeah, he's a CEO. No, I think so, right? That's a bad leader. Look, I'm saying that it's a hard situation. I'm not saying he can't solve it. I'm saying it's a difficult situation, and these are the reasons why it's difficult. That's all.